Welcome, everybody, to the Delco Nerd Network podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Bergucci, and here with a few friends from the Delaware County area, we get in a basement and we talk about a certain topic. Today's topic is, of course, going to be Monster Tavern. Here to discuss, not as always, but a guest of mine, a local game developer and streamer from up the pike in Chester County, Chris Nelms, also known as Toki. Chris, what's up, man? How we doing? Thanks for coming on. This is awesome. This is a pretty interesting moment that we're meeting. Well, we met at TooManyGames, but
right.
We're doing a podcast together in person.
Yeah, and we've been talking about doing this for 7 years now?
I don't think that long. Maybe
it's been a while.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Did I really approach you that long ago?
I think you mentioned it at one point, and I was just too busy, and you cooled off for a couple years, and then 2 or 3 more years ago, you came back in, and then I finally said, yeah, let's do it, and you're like, I'm busy, I can't do it now. So.
Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here in person. We were talking about doing virtually, but I'm like, dude, the in-person is definitely the better move. But you can always do things virtually, but you're local. So that's what makes this super cool, because I started listening to you on Twitch when you were in Seattle. I'm not really sure why you were in Seattle, but that's where you were. And then I remember you mentioned Westchester, and I'm like, Westchester?
Yeah.
What? And then I find out you grew up literally down the road from me.
Yeah, no, I grew up in Westchester, and I've moved around a lot. I kind of just get an itch sometimes and decide, hey, I've got some friends in an area, I'm going there. And I go there. I went to Boston for a year, and then I went out to Washington State for, it was 6-7 years.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I have an icebreaker for you, but I want to, for people who don't know who you are and don't know what you do, for you to introduce yourself. So please.
Yeah, I've been streaming on Twitch for coming up on a decade now. We've gotten a little more casual lately. I've been getting more into, I've always been into game development, but I've started working 2 game development jobs now, one my own and one with a guy who does lacrosse games. So I've had to cut back stream a little bit, but I've always just liked playing games. I like making games. I like watching people play them and having fun. So
one of my big questions to you, my icebreaker question is, what has been your favorite game to stream? So not your favorite game that you have streamed, but the best experience with the game via the stream, whether that is you just had fun, you had a lot of viewers, the chatter was really good. You can take that 17 different ways.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand. So it's not my favorite game that I have streamed one time, but if I picked a game that I wanted to stream tomorrow and it was my favorite?
Yeah, or a game that I know I remember you in the past saying you liked to stream Morrowind.
Yeah.
And it's whether it is the stream experience or every time you play it on stream, it can mean whatever, but it's just not oh, I like X game and that is a game I streamed. Not that.
It's one of a couple from Horror Month, probably Resident Evil. The old school Resident Evils have such a culture behind them, and people always get so into them, and I love playing them too. So it's it's got everything. People love it, I love it, and there's always new people coming in for it. I love introducing people to Harvester. So you've been around for a while, so you've seen a few, and there's always a few new people that come in, and seeing their reactions is priceless.
Yeah, that game is so weird. It's from such a different era of games, and when they were doing what is technically it's a point and click, but the translation from real photography to game, what is that called?
I call it FMV, full motion video.
Yeah, because every time I watch that game, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Mm-hmm.
Who thought, it's just so fucking strange.
It's got a real charm to it, though, and honestly, I've thought about making, maybe not that kind of game, but Red Alert and Command & Conquer, those have the FMV videos. Those are awesome.
Yeah, Netflix has made games kind of
have
that now. Yeah, there was one... It was up for Game of the Year maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and it was a Netflix exclusive game on, Netflix has
was that the
platform.
Choose Your Own Adventure one?
Yeah, it begins with an I maybe.
I won't remember.
And
it
has
name.
a girl in it.
Yeah,
that one, and I'm just what is this? And that would be the first thing that comes to mind. It's a game like Harvester or Night Trap or something like that, where it's they filmed this and you're I don't even know if in that game if you control anybody or not, but and the technology seems too advanced to do something like that, where we know we're watching Harvester and we're the technology was limited, so it kind of makes sense that they tried this approach.
Yeah.
So before we like to get into our main topic, we usually like to talk about what we're doing, playing, watching, whatever. You don't have to do all of those things. You can do some of those things. I figured I'd let you go first since I'm a vet at this and I have my notes and stuff about what I've been playing, doing, watching.
This is always a short list for me. I'm always working. But I am looking forward to the Final Fantasy XI private server. You've probably heard me talk endlessly about it, so I'm looking forward to that. Watching, I did just start Vinland Saga, the anime.
Yeah.
So I just started that the other day. I'm only like 3 episodes in.
Is that still going?
I think it's done.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the more mature anime. Like Berserk is probably my favorite anime, so I like it to be a little darker, a little grittier, and that's pretty much always recommended there. So I finally got some time to jump in.
Has somebody mentioned Attack on Titan to you?
I've watched Attack on Titan. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's got its highs and lows.
It definitely has some lows
Yeah,
in the beginning.
season 2. Yeah,
Yeah, and I think once it hits 3, and once you find out like what's going on, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like I was so clueless watching that show, and then season 2 is just like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
Like-
it dragged, but what I love about it is that they actually explain it. Like, the whole time you're thinking, like, the first couple seasons, like, where are they going with this? How could they possibly explain this? It's going to be dumb. But it actually all comes together and makes sense.
It's like, oh, Battle of Shiganshina, episode 9.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're still fucking here.
Yep.
I wonder why. Like, I don't know how the manga's written, but it seemed so played for you to like. It's the typical show. It gets good in season 3.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, and it's like that's such a shit way to recommend a show, but like when the good gets like that good, it's hard to like.
But the nice thing is it starts out strong, too. Like, those first, like, 4 or 5 episodes are really exciting.
Yeah. Anything else?
I mostly just play Hearthstone when I'm not streaming or working.
Okay, I'm kind of jumping ahead a little bit. What's going on with Hearthstone? Like,
What do you mean?
Is it still like a thing?
Well, I don't play the structured mode, so they have tons of modes in addition to the standard, like, collecting. So I play Battlegrounds, and Battlegrounds is a little bit like an auto-battler.
I was out before that came out. But
Okay.
I've heard of it. I know what it is.
Yeah, we got kind of into it. What really took us off was duos. So they have one where you and a friend play, and you guys can trade between each other, and you play against 3 other teams. It's like if you're in the first 2 slots, if you're team 1 or team 2, you get points. If you're in team 3 or 4, you lose points, and you can grind endlessly. So,
Nice. Anything else?
not really, no.
I was gonna ask you because I didn't know if you played games off stream.
No, actually, well, this is going to be getting ahead too, but a big reason why I got into streaming was because I loved games growing up until I was maybe 11 or so. Then I got into MMOs, and it was over. Like, as soon as I got into MMOs, I ditched single-player games until I was 27 and just missed them all.
I kind of, not in a similar camp. I discovered MMOs around that time. But the single-player stuff, like, I remember I started playing WoW right when Guitar Hero 2 came out.
Okay.
So that must be like 2005.
Well, that was pretty
I
early.
started playing WoW right before Burning Crusade came out.
Yeah, it's probably like 2005,
Because I
2006
remember
then.
the Naxxramas patch with the undead outside the main cities. That's when I started playing. But I obviously had no fucking idea what was, like, there was an expansion like on the horizon or what that even meant. But yeah, I played WoW for a while, and then I switched over to Guild Wars. But like, I never like put the console games down or the single player games down. I feel like I can understand why it would. I mean, you're a little older than me, right? Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 31.
Yeah, I'm 38.
Okay, yeah. So you're of the age where you were old enough to kind of like.
Yeah, you hit WoW when you were like 9 or 10 then.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you'd be a little too young probably to like go deep. But
Yeah,
it was,
exactly.
It was
like, just
perfect for me.
The understanding just was lost to me.
No, I was 15, and then like by 16, I was raiding, and then all through college. Like, especially when you're raiding with your roommate or something like that too. It's like it is everything.
Try
you know?
raiding when you're like 12. You're the squeaker. The
Yeah,
group.
we had a few of those.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I was one of them.
It's better when like the dad is raiding with the 12-year-old too, and you see their whole dynamic.
I stopped playing WoW at ICC, so I beat ICC. I don't think there was there anything after that in Wrath? That was it. Right?
There was I can't remember what it was called. It was like a short boss fight, kind of like the stuff before it.
Yeah, like an Obsidian Sanctum kind of thing.
Yeah, it was an Emerald something maybe.
Yeah, like the one bossers.
It was pretty forgettable.
Yeah, but like I beat the Lich King, and I was like, I'm done. I don't know, like I think I was just like sick of the game, but like honestly, like I probably would have left at some point because like I feel like I left at like the best time humanly possible. I never saw WoW like crumble, even though I watched it from the outside of like,
Well, it's all your perspective too, because
Right.
lots of people don't even think it's crumbled yet. They still love it. And like for me, you got out at a great time because like Burning Crusade, they added dailies. Wrath of the Lich King, they doubled down on the daily stuff, and it just starts to feel like a chore. It's like it feels like another job because you have to log in to do your dailies, your daily dungeons, and all that crap. And that's just always been so boring to me.
Well, I'm talking to my girlfriend. I go for achievements and stuff like that.
Sure.
And sometimes people like I'm telling her about it, and she's like, "It sounds like you're like doing a chore." I'm like,
It can feel that way.
"Yeah." I'm like, but like I don't like hate it. Like I don't know. Like some of the lengths I will go to get like all the achievements in a game is pretty insane. But like I'm not like torturing myself. It's
And
like,
when it's done, it's done.
it's kind of like managing anything else in your life. Like, it's like I'm not just sitting down for 4 hours and like making myself miserable. I'm going through, well, not really going through Gears, but like at the end of Gears 5 achievements, and it's pretty fucking grueling. They're really grindy. And I just do it like a little by little, and I have been. And it's like again, it's like logging on when you're at the point in WoW where you're just doing your dailies. And yeah, like you just log on for an hour, you do your dailies, and you get off. We all have been, if you're an MMO player, we've all fucking been there. And that's exactly kind of what Gears is at. It's just I log on to do a daily to like knock a little bit off this big progression, and then I stop.
Okay, are we talking Gears of War?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a single player game with an ending though, right? So when you get that achievement finally, it's done?
Right.
Okay, so at
all
least
the
you
stuff
have that.
all the stuff I'm doing is multiplayer though.
Oh shit, okay.
So, dude, so Gears has like these seriously achievements where it's like pretty much like in the first game it was like get 10,000 kills in multiplayer, which is in any multiplayer game kind of really substantial. Takes a lot of time, but like as Gears 2, 3, 4, 5 have gone, like it kind of gets harder and more involved, and I'm just like, can we stop? Like like this doesn't need to be this difficult and this involved. And then with updates they'll add more achievements that like require you to do even more stuff, and it's like, why is there an achievement to get like 25,000 assists in versus? Who thought of that?
That was a developer that said, we just want to put something out there ridiculous so you always have something to go after.
I don't like that.
No, for an achievement hunter, that's hell.
Yeah, I mean, I like a challenge, like Wolfenstein 2 Mein Leben. It's the permadeath difficulty. Very challenging, but like, possible. It may take you a long time, but it's not like I'm just grinding at something. Yeah, I'm grinding, but I'm like learning a game in a way that like only few people probably understand it. And I did at the time. I couldn't pick up the controller and just do it again. But like, oh dude, those first few levels I knew like it was nothing.
That's a great feeling though.
Yeah. Oh dude, I when I beat it, like I set up my phone to record it and I like freaked out. Like I was I was just like going insane. It wasn't even like a normal freak out. I was just like yelling. Like I was like, fuck, like finally got it. But yeah, good feeling. And being a completionist has its drawbacks and its benefits. Like you see games in a way like not a lot of other people do, and I think you can really evaluate them from like a very holistic point of view. And it's like, if you got the platinum and by the end of that you're kind of like still enjoying it, that means the game is probably good.
Oh yeah.
If the game is pushing you to lengths in which no normal human being would ever go and you hated it, maybe, like you said with Gears, like they're adding a trophy or an achievement to like make you grind. So like I am unnaturally going to like insane lengths, and maybe I'm even kind of boosting it. Like I'm not naturally doing assists. There's a trophy guy that's like, here, this is how you do it quickly, and I'm doing that. So yeah, it's like, I like Gears 5, but what they make me do to get things, even Gears 4, even like most of the Gears games, like I'm just like, can we not do this for E-Day? Can we just like have the story and like have the multiplayer and just have fun?
Yeah,
like,
right. So what's the hardest achievement you've gotten?
I think Wolfenstein 2 Mein Leben.
Okay.
That was hell, and it was just like, I've done a few perma difficulties. Outlast 2, Outlast 1. I don't think Wolfenstein 1 has one. Wolfenstein 2. Alien Isolation has one. Usually they're very exploitable. There's something in the game that kind of makes it easy. BioShock has one. And like Wolfenstein was just the one that like you just kind of have to be really fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's really no way.
What made the
around
Alien one easy then? Because that one seems like it'd be
I'm
bad.
trying to remember. I think it's just like you can easily get around the Alien
Once you know it's AI.
Right.
Yeah.
Once you like you're outmatching like the machine here, like the computer of this thing. Where it's just like you're not scared of it anymore. The brightness is all the way up, and you're just like, yeah, if you take this path and just sprint, you'll go right around it.
Right.
And of course, like I'm following a guide. I'm not necessarily doing this blind. I think that would be
Okay.
kind of nuts.
Because that's one of my favorite games of all time. Like, I love the Alien series. I love the Alien universe. And to me, that is, like, actually such a perfect representation of it in a horror game. It's a little long, but I don't mind it because I like the game so much. But, yeah, no, you're right, because I reached a point where I had to stop playing it because you start to know, like, oh, that's just a sound. The alien's not really there, right?
Yeah. Yep.
It's just there for ambience. And at that point, you're not having fun with the game anymore. You're just trying to beat it on the hardest difficulty.
Are you excited for 2?
No.
You know what, man? I'm not sure I am either. I don't know why. Like, I played Alien Isolation way after it launched. But I'm just kind of like, okay, cool, we're going to a planet. No shit. Like, what else were we going to do? I'm like, they couldn't put it on a ship again. Like, that would feel like too much of a retread.
Right.
But it's just like, I don't know if I need it. Because it's like, it's kind of going to be the same thing again.
Yep.
Like, how much can you iterate on that formula?
Yeah, they'd have to do something completely different. And I think that would just betray the fans. Like, there was actually another one that came out afterwards. I don't know exactly where it ties in, but it's a phone game. And I was like, that misses the mark so hard.
Phone game.
Yeah, imagine trying to play. I don't know if it's supposed to be horror. I didn't look too much into it, but I could imagine playing a horror game on your phone. It's just like, that's not going to work.
Hey, man, you're like fucking like in a coffee shop playing
Right.
Alien, like, oh, you fucking freak out. I'm trying to think if I know what that is. Creative Assembly did it or no?
I would have to look. I don't recall.
Okay. Yeah, but I've been playing not a ton of new stuff. I've been playing through Lego Batman, beat that, the Legacy of the Dark Knight, which is really fun. Have you played any of the Lego games?
No, not after the PS1.
They're like, as you can imagine, they're just like chill.
Yeah.
But with this one, it's like, it's cool seeing like Legos and like 4K graphics. Like,
Yeah, it's a
it's
little
like,
wild.
this really looks like this is real, man. This is a real Lego in this game. And it's just like Lego Batman is really just an homage to Batman in like every facet you can imagine. And it's got a story, and you know, like each chapter is based around, like the first one is The Batman with Robert Pattinson, and then the second chapter is 89, and then they kind of use elements from the movies and the games and Arkham and the animated series and anything Batman you can imagine to sort of like flesh out their own story, like around the ideas of the movie. And you know, they're being goofy, but you know, it's like a 20-hour game, but I'd have to do all the collection stuff, and then I'll have the platinum. I restarted, or I'm playing Control for the second time, the Ultimate Edition, which is, I think, just like higher frames, looks nicer, like the Game of the Year edition with all the DLC. Have you played Control?
Yeah, I did. It was a lot of fun. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I'm really just prepping for Resonant because it's been so long that I'm like, I don't remember it all. Plus, I didn't play Alan Wake before I played Control. And now that I played Alan Wake, I feel like it gives Control like a different dimension, because you played the DLC for it? Or
I don't
no?
think I've even played Alan Wake.
Or no, the Control DLC.
I can't remember, to be honest with you. I don't
There's
think
a
so.
Control, it's called All, and it's all about Alan Wake. Like,
Okay.
So it's like they very obviously connect the two, and they're in the same universe. And then Alan Wake 2 brings Control into it, and I assume Control will bring some portion of Alan Wake back into it. I don't know, but I'm just like, yeah, I want to replay, you know, get all the achievements again, go through again. It's pretty cool. I actually picked it up at TooManyGames. I saw
you really?
a physical version of it because it's $40, and I'm just like, I can find this at TooManyGames, and I did. Like right as I was leaving, I was like, "Oh shit, here it is." That was over on Xbox. On PS5, I Platinum Sorrows. I'm playing Dispatch with my girlfriend. I know you played that.
Is that your first time playing through it?
Yes.
That game's fun.
It is really fun, and so me and my girlfriend have been going out for like 2.5 months. And she's not really a gamer, like was a gamer, but like now really isn't. So I was like thinking of a game. I'm like, what's a good game that we could play that I feel like is like not too much in terms of gameplay and will give her like a cool story that like she wouldn't see. And I was like, I think like Dispatch, it would be a good idea. So what we're doing is we're like trading off, like we'll do like 2 or 3 dialogue options and then trade the controller, and then one of us will, do the hacking or do the actual gameplay, and then we'll switch off. And it's been cool. She's like, yeah, I didn't know what to expect from this, which was the point. That'd be like, this is probably not what you think of when a game like something like this. We're on episode 4. We didn't start it yet, so we've only done the first 3 of 8. And I didn't know it was that long, but it's like an hour 20 each, and I'm really enjoying it.
It goes by fast.
I know a lot about it from not just from watching you play it, but like when everyone was into it. So like I kind of know. I don't really know how the game ends, or at least I don't remember, which is good. But like I know like the romance option stuff because that was all over Twitter and shit like that. I feel like that was hard to get away from, but yeah, loving it. It reminds me of Papers, Please. In terms of
a little bit, yeah.
It segments the gameplay often to like managing like not people, but like you know what I'm trying to say, like that gameplay style where you're like
there's
doing
a very
something.
clear divide between the gameplay loops, right? Like there's the story loop and then there's the actual game loop, which feels so weird to transition out of and yet so good.
Yeah. And then like Papers, Please, it's not quite the same. It's like Dispatch's loop on like the fucking simplest level of just like, yeah, like somebody's gonna walk in your booth and like story exposit, and you're gonna have some like dialogue in between days, and that's essentially what Dispatch is. It's just on like a very highly produced level. We're going, we have Aaron Paul as the main character, and we have every great video game voice actor under the sun in the game as well. Like it's like the A-list cast, except for Troy Baker and Nolan North. They're not in it. But Travis Willingham, Laura Bailey, it's just like everyone you would suspect being a video game is in this game. But yeah, I'm having a great time. I don't know like how you consume what I would dub cape shit, like superhero stuff. So like was it kind of fresh for you? Like, because like the superhero stuff is so tired.
I stopped at the first Iron Man, right?
Yeah.
I have not seen. I did watch Endgame.
That's hilarious.
There was a big jump. I had a lot of questions, but but yeah, I don't know. Something about the superhero stuff has always bounced off, and I know you love it. But for me,
I love it is such an interesting word. I feel like I'm like
you're immersed in it. How about that?
That is a better term.
Yeah,
I
okay.
am immersed in it. Yeah.
I'm not immersed into it, and I try to actively avoid it. So like people keep saying you got to watch The Boys, for instance, and they're like, it's not just the usual cape shit, and I'm like,
it's definitely not, but it's very political.
Is it?
So I would actually Dispatch, Invincible, and The Boys are all kind of in the same echelon. They're superhero stuff, but more serious. I don't want to say real, but they curse. It's bloody. Like they're in that echelon where Marvel and DC typically aren't.
Right, and that can definitely draw me in a little bit. Like I liked the '90s cape stuff. So like Blade. Let's see, what was the other one? Spawn. I feel like there's one more. Was there a Punisher back then too?
Yeah. Dolph Lundgren Punisher?
Yes.
Because then there's 2 others that weren't Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, Bernthal was one of them, right?
Bernthal's the newest one. Oh shit! What the fuck's his name? He was in the show Ahsoka. Ray Stevenson. He was in the all before 2010.
Okay.
So Dolph Lundgren was probably what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I do love Dolph, so.
Yeah, and it's like all 3 of those things are like they're like it's fucking Phenomenon, and he's in like a stereotypical, it's Homelander, and he looks like like a dumb superhero. Like that's the point. And Invincible's kind of similar things. Like their outfits are very superhero, the definition of like comic booky, where it's like Marvel and I feel like DC. Well, maybe not DC so much. Have gone like they kind of look as real as they can and maybe not as silly.
Right.
Yeah.
But to the question, I actually, Dispatch, as soon as I got past the cape stuff, I think the plot and the writing and the gameplay just totally lured me in.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
I could definitely overlook it for that. And like the writing had a lot of like dumb shit in it too, like trying to be like
pop culture jokes.
Yeah. And a lot of time I'll cringe at them, but it was the rest of it was good enough that I could just totally ignore that.
It's funny. I feel like if that was a Marvel movie, I'd be talking about it so much more differently. But like, yeah, like they're. I think what's his name? Robert is talking to Prism, and he makes like a Nicki Minaj joke and like some other joke. I'm like, that's like, I don't know why. It's like, doesn't bother me.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's cringy for sure. But like, you can tell it's kind of written supposed to be like that. It's not like taking it too seriously.
And it didn't beat you over the head with it too often. I think it like adds up over time. It's like I could take one, I could take two, but by like the 10th quip, sometimes I'm just like, all right, I'm quipped out.
Yeah, for sure. And then I feel like you might be interested in this one. The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Age. Do you know about this game?
Is that the square one?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm interested.
I really like it. And I almost didn't get it. And I was like, I don't need another fucking game. Like Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag Resynced is coming out tomorrow or today. And I was just like, I don't need this. Like I haven't played Assassin's Creed in a long time. So I'm a bit out of date. But like, yeah, I played Black Flag. I like the game. I would like to play it, but like, I really would rather wait until they were like remaster AC1 and then play through the series again and then play the ones I didn't get to and, you know, try to experience them without being super jaded that I don't like the new approach. But like, yeah. So Elliot, I really haven't. Have you played Octopath?
No.
Okay. I feel like Square makes a lot of sloppy JRPG games. Like it's just like it's like JRPG slop.
Sloppy how though?
Like as you would categorize AI slop in that way, where it just feels like...
It feels like a carbon copy almost of the last thing?
Yeah, like all three Octopath games, there's 1, 2, and 0, and 0 is the gacha game on mobile.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And it just feels, it's like, what are we doing here? Like, we are just putting out content for content's sake. And I saw, I'm like, okay, the 2D HD is cool. But like, okay, it's not turn-based, that's interesting. And it's like, but how's the story? Because I feel like the story in Octopath is like, dude, I cannot do this. Like, this is so mired in so much detail that I just don't give a flying fuck about, like, what these characters are talking about. And with Octopath Traveler, there's 8 different characters with 8 different stories. And it's like, they're just, they kind of meander in themselves and they just feel, like, boring. It just feels like...
It's a lot to juggle.
Yeah, it's a lot to juggle, but it's just, like... It just wears me down. It feels like acid in a jar, just like slowly rotting away, and I'm just dying. So I looked at Elliot, and I was kind of like, I feel like it's gonna be that, and I was wrong. I mean, it's kind of it's JRPG. It has that JRPG feel, but it's action. You're kind of like dungeon crawling, and it's not turn-based. You're running around like a dungeon, top-down view, and you're fighting. You have a sword, a spear, a boomerang, arrows, bombs, kind of very Zelda-like. You can put bombs down to blow open a door, that sort of thing. And
So is it an active game? It's not like a JRPG turn-based?
Correct.
Okay.
It's like more like it. I'm trying to. All the Dragon Quest games are turn-based, right?
To my knowledge.
Okay. Because somebody is Chrono Trigger too?
Yeah.
All of them? Like even the Cross and...
I haven't played Cross, but Chrono Trigger is, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to think of somebody compared it to like a JRPG, and I can't remember. But yeah, there is no turn-based. It's like, okay, you see an enemy, you can walk up, he can hit you. He does this like, fly attack and like glides into you. But it's top-down to H2D... what's the fucking term? 2D, 3D, hybrid, that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and the story's like pretty good. And the gimmick is like you're kind of like time traveling through different ages. So you're seeing the same area in like 3 different time periods. And like Elliot is an adventurer and he's like working for the king. Like that's the crux of the story. But I'm having a really good time with it.
That's what matters.
I'm playing on really hard, and I kind of like the difficulty, and I really like how it's not turn-based, because I feel like playing Octopath, I'm just like, oh my god, here we go again, and it's just like, yeah, but like then again, I'll jump over to Final Fantasy 16 and not have this problem. It's not their AAA output. It's like their AA output that I have a problem with.
Well, I think they have a target audience for that, and you just might not be in it, because I think they found that like Octopath sold well. You know, people really liked it. I remember when I haven't played any of those yet, but my friends who like JRPGs absolutely adore them. They were so excited for them.
Yeah, and I completed them, and it wore me down like nothing else. And I'm curious, like, if you would stream it. They're long games.
Probably not. No.
Like, I'm just like, I couldn't imagine you finishing it, and you would just be like, oh my god, like we're still fucking going. Like,
well, we've played longer games. I mean, I used to play longer games, and I found that the dialogue heavy games it's tough because, you know, let's say you're in there every other day for 3 hours. Like, you miss out on half the story, 2/3 of the 3/4 of the story, and then you have to jump back in, and it's tough for you to follow because you've missed so much. And then, like, I can't chat with people because I have to read the dialogue, especially for the non-voice acted ones. Like, I have to sit there and read through all of it. It's just, I don't think they make good stream games. I think there's people that can get away with it because they kind of build out a niche in that. But for someone who's variety, I just don't think it works very well.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, for the games that don't have dialogue, do you read stuff? I'm trying to even remember.
From time to time, it just depends how I'm feeling.
Right, it's just
and
like,
how much there is.
Right, yeah.
Because you mentioned feeling like it was a slog, and like in some of those games, like I'm into it, I'm starting to feel it, and then they just drag on and on and on and on. And that's why I've always liked games like Mass Effect and like the more Western RPGs in that sense, because they'll hit you with the main plot stuff, but instead of just like droning on for an extra 10 minutes, it's like, you got an NPC over here you can talk to if you want that additional information. Like, you can pick the chat options if you want that extra. And that's so much more digestible to me. And I find that I'll just end up going and reading it all anyway because it's at my leisure.
Yeah. You streamed Disco Elysium?
Yeah.
Was it before or after the...
After.
Yeah.
And I would not have streamed it before for that very reason. And even after, you know, it was so much fun to play and I enjoyed it, but I noticed that the stream was very quiet. You know, people were either immersed in it or they get bored and leave, and it's a lot of story. So
yeah, it's like how much can it's just like, is it a good stream game? You know,
and
maybe it depends on who you are.
Yeah.
That's kind of it for what I've been playing. I do have one more thing, and that's a movie. I saw Jackass, the last Jackass.
The alleged last one, okay.
Yeah, the alleged last one. You know, it's funny, because I had this feeling when I went to go see the last Jackass movie, which I thought was the last one, actually. But it feels like this one, actually, they do talk about it being the last. Johnny Knoxville just seems too old, is what it comes down to. But it's so funny, because especially for you, like, you grew
up in Westchester, yeah.
Right. When Bam, but you were of age when Bam was like, Bam is probably not too far off of your age.
He's a little older, but like we were in high school and he was probably in his mid to late 20s, I want to say, and it was great because everybody was imitating it. Like, we were all fucking just trying to do the same shit.
Yeah.
You know, not the more extreme stuff, obviously. Like, we're not stapling our nutsacks or anything like that. But yeah, and quite a few times we'd see him around Westchester, too. And he'd just be, like, I remember one time he was there. I don't remember who else was with him. It was like 2 a.m, and the one dude was just wearing an adult diaper, walking around at night, drunk out of his mind. And it's just like, all right, well, that's the Jackass
Bam.
experience. Yeah.
They show a lot of archival footage of stuff from like when Bam was younger and like some stuff they never aired, and it's just like, it's such the movie was fine, it was good, but like there's an appreciation for Jackass I think people our age have, because it's like, it was such an of its era thing, and if that was ever to be a thing again, it would never be what Jackass was.
Well, we have it all over TikTok now too, so it's like it
wouldn't have been a show,
right? Yeah,
that they submit to MTV to be like, hey, do you want to air this stupid prank like stunt show that we do like at 2 a.m. that like everyone was like slept over somebody's house and you guys stayed up late enough to watch Jackass. Like, we all have that like core memory, and I'm like, yeah, this is like I wasn't like upset, but I'm like, yeah, man, just kind of like nostalgic about the whole thing.
So Bam was in it.
Bam is not in it.
Okay.
He is in it in the archival footage. He's not in it present day.
Because I thought I remember they had a falling out. He
during
was,
forever.
And he's doing really good now too. I don't know if you know, but
Yes,
he was going through some shit, and he has come back hard. He's doing really good now from what I can see.
Me and my coworker joke all the time because we want to get Bam to do something at Westchester Harley Davidson, because he's just like, I don't think he lives here, but like, wouldn't it be cool to like have Bam like destroy like a motorcycle?
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And we always just joke about it, and then like I mimic Bam's voice and shit. I'm just like, wouldn't that be fucking sick? Because yeah, he's not. Yeah, he's doing good. I mean, you know what he's doing? The con circuit.
Really?
Yeah.
I know he's been skating. He said that like to stay away from alcohol, his girlfriend, I don't know if he's married, if it's just a girlfriend.
I don't know.
Okay, she's got him on like a pretty strict schedule. Like he goes to bed at 10 or 11 o'clock. He gets up and he skates. He's got into skating again, and he's just keeping to a schedule, and that's really worked for him, is what he's been saying.
Yeah, I would. What was I just talking about?
Harley Davidson?
No, after that.
Con circuit.
Cons. Him in a Too Many Games would kill.
Yeah.
Him at, like, think about that. Like, or any con in this area.
True.
He would fucking murder. Because everyone knows him from this area. But yeah, he's been, you know who's also from the Philadelphia area? The guy who plays Biff from Back to the Future.
Okay.
He's from, like, I think he's from Philly, or he might be from Delco. Apparently, like, he went up to Bam, and Bam's like, yo, just found out Biff from Back to the Future's from Delco. Like, I'm like, what?
Yeah, we got a few famous people around here. We got M. Night Shyamalan here, too.
I met M. Night.
Did you really? How was that?
Good. I don't know.
Was he a good dude?
Yeah. If you don't know who he is, you would know better.
Yeah.
You know, he's pretty normal looking. But I used to work at Regal Edgemont, down Westchester Pike, and that's the theater he goes to, or at least he
No
did.
shit.
Yeah, he lives like right back there.
Oh, I know. He's got, what does he call it? It's got some edgy name like Shadow Horse Estates or something like that.
Is that what his land's called?
That's not the actual name, but it's got a name like that.
Yeah.
Ravenwood, I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, he was good enough. Like, I don't know, it's just like a lot of celebrities, like when Cole Hamels was on the Phillies and some of the other Phillies like lived in the area, they would go to there. But here's the thing, when you're Cole Hamels and you're like 6'4" and you're wearing like a blank baseball cap because you don't want anyone to know like you're a baseball player, it's kind of hard to hide. But when you're M. Night Shyamalan and you're just like some small Indian dude, you can get away with it.
Well, and like no one sees, I mean, he's in his movies, but if you don't know it's him, you wouldn't know what he looks like either.
Exactly. But yeah, that's really it for me. That is what we've been doing, playing, watching. And let's get into our main topic. We're going to be talking all about Monster Tavern, all about Chris, where he's been, what he's doing, and hopefully what he's going to do. So I sort of want to, I think you kind of got into it a little bit when we started talking. Like, what got you into games, first of all? Because I feel like as a game developer, you have to start somewhere.
My very first game was Yoshi's Cookie on the NES. And I remember
Yoshi's Cookie?
I remember being like maybe 4 or 5. It was my sister's, and just being enamored by it. I can't recall too much about it, but I just remember being like, wow, that's cool. And ever since then, I was just super into it. I mean, I got really into Pokemon in the classic era, and in Red and Blue, as Mike would say, or Feta Fist would say, there's only 3 Pokemon games: Red, Blue, and Pinball. I contend
no
Yellow.
Coliseum? Come on.
No, I
Not
contend
the
Yellow
N64.
deserves in there too. I honestly, I like everything up until like Black and White, and including Black and White anyway. So.
That was, I feel like, I didn't really play Pokemon, but like, I watched the show.
Oh, yeah.
Black and White. No, Diamond and Pearl is the last season of the show. I feel like I like paid attention to, and I don't. Well, maybe as you know, I'm not really a Nintendo gamer.
I didn't know that actually.
I've never owned a Nintendo system besides a DS. But I just didn't. I played Smash and things at people's houses, but I never owned them. So I'm really just like, Nintendo is just not really my bag and never really has been. So yeah, Pokemon for me was never like a big thing. People played it, and I just didn't really care about it.
I feel like if you were my age, it would have hit different too. Because when it first came out, everybody was playing it. Like, you might remember when we were kids, it was not cool to play video games. Like, you were a nerd.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's true 7 years earlier too.
Yeah. I would like, yeah, for sure. I was made fun of for playing video games.
Absolutely,
as a young kid, for sure.
The cool kids were playing Pokemon. It was everybody was playing Pokemon. It was awesome. So
yeah,
that was
it was socially accepted.
It was, yeah. But I think my most prominent early gaming moments were me and my dad used to play like the old boomer shooters. So like we played Duke Nukem, Doom, Quake. We played one called Nam, which was based, I think, on the Duke engine. And there were a bunch. And he used to take me, actually funny, with Too Many Games. The last time I was at that center was with him. He used to call them computer shows. And he would take us there. And it was just like cool tech shit. Because like nowadays you can go on Newegg and get a computer. But back then it's like you had to go to Micro Center or like one of these shows to get something. So those were really cool. And that got me big into it too.
One of my first gaming memories is playing Unreal with my dad. And I'm really hankering. I really want them to remake the first Unreal.
So your dad did play games.
Absolutely.
Did he have any weird, I was going to say input conventions for how he played? I'll give an example. My dad used...
inverted?
Well, my dad used the right-click button on the mouse to move, I think it was. And he'd use...
So like to propel him forward?
Yeah, you wouldn't actually hold like an arrow key or something. You use right-click for forward. And that just always stuck with me.
I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah.
I'm curious if my dad would even remember that. Like, especially like...
mine wouldn't.
Early on, like before... I don't know. Like I remember him using like like a gamepad, like a computer controller that like you weren't plugging a PS2 controller like you would a PS4 or PS5 into your computer now. So it was like a gamepad and it had like 6 buttons.
Yep.
Yeah, like something like weird like that.
We just called them joysticks back then.
Yeah.
It's like just plug the joystick in, and they had a million different kinds.
Yeah, he played flight simulators and he had the joystick,
the setup,
but not like a heavy duty setup.
Okay, so I didn't have the steel battalion or battalion.
Battalion.
Okay,
but he had like a flight stick that he would use and like a throttle thing. Yeah, but like I feel like that was like a hot minute. Like that was like it was kind of like what VR was today. It's like you played it for like a week and then like never again.
God, VR is such a shame.
So yeah, that's your games, but what got you into game development? I actually I don't know really anything about your background. I don't know if you went to college at all or like what you had planned to do with your life. So.
I always something I found interesting is most of my friends don't know what they want to do with their lives. And when I played Yoshi's Cookie, I knew. I was like, how does this work? This is interesting. Like, what is this? And I think it was maybe 9th grade or so. I took an HTML class because that was the closest thing to coding we had. And then, I forget. I don't think it was senior year. It might have actually been at Delco. I took a JavaScript. No, we took a C++.
Community college?
Yeah. I don't know if you knew that. I went to Delaware County for 2 years.
I don't think I knew that. No.
Yeah. We did the. There's an Downingtown and Exton branch. And then we came over here to the main one for our last year. And then after that, I went to Millersville. And my intent was to go to Millersville to get into the game dev program because they had a senior level game dev program.
What year was this?
I think I graduated in 2012. So it would have been like 2010 to 2012.
That's crazy. I never heard of that.
Yeah.
Because I was in high school. If you graduated college, then I was in.
You probably would have been 9th grade when I graduated.
Yeah,
just going
but like
into it.
I feel like if like because Full Sail was on top of mine.
Yeah.
Back then. I don't even know if Full Sail even exists anymore.
I don't think so.
But like game dev Full Sail.
Right.
Drexel was a big one. I never heard of Millersville, so I know the college. I just didn't know they had.
A lot of them have little programs like that where they don't like Millersville had a robotics program. I remember that was really good, and that's what drew my attention over there. And then, unfortunately, at the senior level, there were 400 level courses. When I got there, they're like, there's just not enough interest, so they didn't do the classes. But I remember taking a data structures and algorithms class, and it's just like there's weird transformation in my brain where I was like, oh, this is how you would make an RPG character and store all the data. That was the first kind of like eye-opening how I would make a game class. So I just started doing it on my own after that. And after I graduated, I think one of the first things, I downloaded Unity. It was like brand new. This was like right when they started. And I didn't like it because I didn't feel like I had a coding background. So I didn't feel like I had the control that I wanted over things. Like I just wanted like a loop that I could build in or something like that. So I ended up just building some JavaScript engine. And it was terrible. I tried to make a Harvest Moon game. This was before Stardew Valley, and like I loved Harvest Moon, so I was like, there's nothing like this. It would have never been a threat. It wasn't great, but I was like, I'm spending a lot of time optimizing, and I'm not spending a lot of time doing game dev. So after that, I went back to Unity, and it clicked for me, and I've been with Unity since. But I think the first game company I worked for was a board game company, and they're called Greenbrier Games. They're up in Boston.
Oh, okay. When you were living in Boston,
actually before? I don't remember if it was before or after. I actually don't remember. I think it was before.
Okay.
It was unrelated to me moving up there. I had a friend group up there, so I moved up there for that. But Greenbrier did a Kickstarter pretty early on, and they did a zombie apocalypse game called Zpocalypse. And Zepocalypse did really well. They got like 220 grand. They did a follow-up game. They got another 250. They started doing some other board games, and they wanted to make a digital game of it. So we got working on that. And there's actually some gameplay footage still lurking around of it on YouTube, which is really cool to go back to because this was like 2012. So this is 14 years ago.
Not like early YouTube, but like I would say like mid YouTube, whatever the fuck that means.
It was when YouTube was popular, but you could still find what you wanted. Now it's just like such a shit mess.
Yeah. It was still like new, even though it was like 4 years old.
Yep.
LPs, I feel like, the popularity of like the walkthrough and the LP.
Right. Because Twitch and Justin were just kind of starting to take off then. Like I think Justin was like 2009. Twitch was like, I don't know. I got into Twitch in like 2012, so it was right around that time.
I got into Twitch probably around like 2014 or 15 is when I first watching. So I assumed you watched, and then was it a long time until you started to actually stream?
I don't watch Twitch. No, my friends do though. Like I've never been a watcher. Like I like doing. So like I can't stand watching sports. It's so boring for me. But I love playing baseball. I love playing the sports. But there's just for me there's just some weird disconnect, and it's not exciting. And my friends aren't really big into sports either, so like a lot of people get into it for the social aspect too, and that just never hit for me. But it's the same thing with gaming. Like watching somebody play, there is an exception, but watching people play has never really done anything to me. So like I'm on Twitch because I have friends. So I've got a couple people like Rat and Gorb and a few other people I'll linger around in just because they're my friends, and I want to support them. But I'm always doing something, so watching is just not my thing, and it's distracting. Like I'm trying to work and I hear somebody talking and I can't focus. So
when was the first time you started a stream, and what were you playing?
The first time I streamed with intention was I think it must have been 2016 August. And I don't remember what I was playing at the very first, but the first game I remember getting viewers on was Dark Souls 2, because I was just
out of all the Dark Souls games.
We're jumping probably to another topic here a little bit, but we can just go. So my girlfriend at the time liked watching me play games, and another friend liked watching them, and Steam, like Discord wasn't quite a thing then, I don't think. I think we were using Skype at the time. So so I couldn't stream to both of them easily on Steam at the time. I think that's changed now. So I was like, well, I'll just put it up on Twitch. So I played a couple things, but I remember Dark Souls 2 because I was laying in bed on Skype with her and just like chatting and playing the game. And I looked at my computer and there were messages in the chat, and I was like, wait, people were actually here? And I was like, oh, shit, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't read any of this for the last 8 hours.
That's so interesting. I feel like with Twitch, it was such a, especially like being on there in that beginning, I felt like it was such a, like, just like a, not like a niche thing, but like it was like kind of being there at the beginning of YouTube. Like you kind of knew you were there like before like the onset of something big, and then Twitch blew up, and now it's like, there's TwitchCon. But I think I know I started watching you and you were playing Metal Gear Solid 3. Which
was that it? Of course it would be.
Yes, yeah. And I'm trying to think, it was most likely the summer of 2017, because I was definitely unemployed after college, and I just like remember that. But I'm not sure if it was like the summer or the fall. It was definitely like not 2018. It was definitely like sometime like I remember like some of the first streams I like, because you always stream from like 11 to like whatever fuck crazy time.
Well, because I was on the West Coast, so yeah, it was 5 a.m. out here. Yeah,
and nobody else would do streaming, so I'd watch Togi at an ungodly time, and then I would like literally like just fall asleep listening to the stream.
I was going to ask you,
which I still do.
I was going to ask you what made you come back after Metal Gear, because a lot of people after their game's finished, they look for the next thing that's interesting. They don't come back to the streamer again.
I don't know. It's a good question. I actually wish I had like a good answer other than I don't know, because I feel like I'm not like I feel like with your chats especially, like I kind of say hi and then I just lurk, and then I come back and I'm like say one thing and then I'll like leave again. Like I think it's because it's so late and you stream typically later that I'm kind of like mellowing out anyway. I'm not like super engaged with chat because I'm like getting tired, and then I'll like fall asleep and get 50 subs in my sleep or whatever I did that one time, which was a true story.
I knew you were gonna bring that up.
I remember waking up and being like, you me like, oh, Ragucci gifted like 10 subs. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yep, I think it was 10.
And it was not Harvester. Is it? It sounds like Phasmophobia. What's that?
Phantasmagoria.
Yes. It was during Phantasmagoria.
That's a good game too. I love people playing, seeing that play through for the first time.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen you play a lot of that. Like, and I couldn't like recall it off the top of my head.
It's every year, and it's about 5 hours. We've got it to about 5 hours, so it's a good watch.
If I had to guess, I just kind of I love the intros, which I never see anymore because I'm never at stream when it starts. I love like your little like retro like GIF intros that are like. Yeah, just like with whatever music you decide to put on, and I would always like that. I know when you were streaming late, it was easy to be like, 11 o'clock, like nothing else. I'm not watching anything or nothing else is on. Like I'm gonna like finish the night with Toki, and like I would be there like 11 o'clock. But now I never see the opening of a stream, and when I do, it's like holy shit, I'm here. But I think you were just entertaining. I like the games you play. Like I like I've been exposed to a lot of games via Twitch and streaming and like stuff that I would never think about playing, and I feel like as a podcaster it kind of helps me be informed about things that I don't always play. So like Nintendo, for example, I like to think I'm like pretty informed about the industry as a whole, and especially since I don't play Nintendo games, like I listen to a Nintendo podcast because it helps to know like what's going on. And I know like the Star Fox remake just came out, and the first thing I go is nobody's talking about this.
Yeah,
like
true.
It came out and like I haven't heard a fucking peep. And apparently it's pretty good,
yeah.
but like nobody's really talking about it. I feel like that's an issue with a lot of things in general nowadays, especially games.
Oh, there's just too many games.
Exactly.
That's the problem. There's too many.
There's too much going on. So like, for some reason, you just like GTA. GTA is going to be a much different story. Elden Ring, much different story. But it's like these smaller games that like maybe if that Star Fox was a brand new Star Fox, we'd be having a different conversation. But it's like it's a remake. You know what the game is. It's got a new coat of paint. You know. We've been here before. And especially since Star Fox 64 is a remake of Star Fox, right?
I don't think so. I think they're different, but I could be wrong.
Because it's been remade before, like on 3DS or something.
I'm sure
like
it's been on one of the handhelds, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like this weird thing where it's just like, you try to stay informed, but then you don't hear anything about it, and so it's like hopefully they'll talk about it.
I'm telling you, I think it's just too busy now. Like
it is.
The stats are out of control. If you've ever looked, because we just put our game out right this year, so I've been learning more about this year. But
right.
I want to say the average day has something between like 60 and 100 Steam releases. That's insane.
You see those numbers Jeff Keighley released about, I think, from Summer Game Fest, and he was like, there's like 7,000 games being released on Steam a year, and it's like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Who's playing all that shit? And most of it is, smaller indie games, and it's funny, as an indie developer, I'm going to ask you this question. Do you think like indie development is like, not like a problem, but kind of going back to the slop, there is a lot of slop games, and you kind of know exactly what I'm talking about. Like,
I know what you mean. It's not a problem though. I think it's art, and I think indie games push the bounds that AAAs can't do. Right.
Right.
So you're going to get a lot of crap with that. Like that's just what it is, and I call it crap. Other people have fun with it, so it is what it is.
Sure.
It's all what sells and what doesn't sell. So I mean. Yeah, no, I think it's fine, and I'm happy there's tons of indie games because I think, there's a lot that'll just go under the radar maybe, but there's a lot that just won't pick up because they're not good. And then, like a lot of AAA games will look back at that, and they'll say, oh, well, maybe we could do that too. Because I think AAA games are just too expensive to make right now. I mean,
sure, it's definitely a big problem.
What's the cutoff for AAA? It's like 100 million people are saying right now is the baseline. You have to spend that much on the game for it to be considered AAA.
Yeah, and then it takes like 6+ years.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. So I mean, that's so much money. You can't fail. Like if I don't, I'm gonna say this. It's probably not true, but like I feel that if Grand Theft Auto 6 somehow bombed, Rockstar could go under. Like one of the biggest companies could still go under with one failed title.
It is the most expensive, like
it's like a bill, right?
Thing ever made. Yeah,
and I think they're worth a couple billion, so it wouldn't really, but they'd really
like imagine
be in
if
trouble.
it did. Like I guess it would. Like how would it not?
Sure.
It's the most expensive thing to ever be made. It's
yeah.
like there's so much riding on GTA's success, and so many people are looking at it, especially with going digital, and especially after PlayStation announced they're not going to do discs after 2028. It's like whatever they do, whatever they succeed at, whatever they're going to be good at, whatever GTA 6 is going to be good at, it will be the base going forward. Just like Skyrim was, just like Witcher was. You have these tentpole games that sort of like define an era of like 5, 6, 7 years of development, and then we're comparing. Oh, this is like Witcher. Oh, this is like Skyrim. Oh, this is like GTA 6. But yeah, AAA. I would to like add a point to like my question. I would think AAA development is more the problem at this point.
Yeah.
But like I'm not silly to be like, are the PlayStation shovelware games that are made to play for 2 minutes to get a platinum trophy, are those a problem? It's like, that's where I look at it and it's like, what? Like,
I've never played those. What are they?
They're basically games to like, you might do something really simple like press X like 13 times and you'll get the platinum. So
That's
people
it?
buy them for like $1 or $2 to get platinum trophies.
Yeah, that's probably, well, I mean, I don't know if I want to say a problem, but that's silly.
Right. And it's just like, where's the line?
Right.
And that's contributing to Jeff Keighley's stat of 7,000 games on Steam. It's like, not every game on Steam you take seriously. Like Monster Tavern, like you don't boot it up and like, I'm not taking this seriously. Like it's a real game.
I hope so, yeah.
yeah.
It's hard to remember that sometimes, but I hope so, yeah.
Yeah, like you boot that up and there's not something like, yeah, like I don't play like weird indie games, so I feel like I wouldn't know. But like you play this game, and it's not like the art direction is different. It's more like this is like a real game when you boot it up. Like I'm not really. If you play indie games a lot and you play like weird shit, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. But I don't even know what I'm talking about. It's just some things I see and I hear.
Yeah, in my head, I'm seeing games that like you boot them up and it's just a start button. Like there's not a whole lot to it, and you get right into the game, and it's just very shallow. Like it does what it does. It's a short-term experience. I'm assuming that's kind of what you're talking about.
Yeah,
like I've seen some horror games.
Shallow is a good word.
Okay,
for it.
I've seen some horror games in that realm for sure.
But I feel like horror games, especially in the indie scene, kind of define what
now
AAA
they do.
becomes.
Yeah, now they do for sure.
I'm not gonna pretend like I play them, but I hear about them, and it's like, the horror. Like I feel like, yeah. I mean, look at Amnesia. That kind of like started the horror genre in modernity.
Yeah. Well, and like, what other AAA horror games do we have right now? Like Silent Hill. I mean, that's a remake or a remaster or whatever you want to call it. It's a remake. Yeah.
You say what AAA horror games do we have?
In like the last couple years, yeah.
I mean, that aren't like remakes or like new
garbage.
Games.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, you have Resident Evil, you have Silent Hill. Like I'm like, look at the games up there. Tell me what you see. I was like, what can I get off the top of my head?
There's not a lot. Is my point though.
OD is like probably the newest one we're having on the horizon, but that's Kojima. It's in like a different fucking echelon of its own. Going back to streaming, what made you stick with streaming as like a way to make a, I don't want to say living, because I don't know if you ever been like, I'm gonna try to like live off Twitch. I think that might be like kind of like assuming something, but to make an income.
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to make a living off of Twitch, and I did for a while. Like there was a period, I want to say from like 2019 to 2022, 21, where I was making like not quite a normal income, but above minimum wage, and that was cool. That fell off though pretty hard post 2022. I don't know exactly why. I'm guessing I think people spend less.
Post-COVID, everything changed.
Yeah, and people, that. I feel like most people already know what Twitch is if they're going to be there. And if they don't know what Twitch is, they're probably young and just getting pulled into it, and they're not going to watch me because I'm 38 playing old games. So it's like that's just not on their horizon.
Right. You're not playing Fortnite.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's just not viable. And that's ultimately what got me more into indie, like trying to make my game. But what got me to stick with it was I was always very shy. I still am super introverted. But I did not know how to public speak. I got really nervous. I was really afraid of how people viewed me. So putting yourself in front of people on stream for 7 days a week, 6+ hours a day, and just letting them throw rocks at you is a great way to build up a thick skin and get comfortable with it. So like,
every so often you like lay somebody out. But it's like not common, but enough that like where like the lever flips and you're like, shut the fuck up.
Well, like we don't get that many new people, like it's almost all just like people used to call it a Cheers, like the Cheers bar. Everybody knew each other. It was the same group. They felt like they fit in there, and there wouldn't be like new faces taking over all the time. Not like a huge influx of new people where it loses its identity.
For sure.
So yeah, I don't have to do that very often, and we don't get too many assholes anyway.
Yeah.
So like when a couple have infiltrated the community, I tend to give people what they give me. So if somebody's an ass, I'm an ass to them. If they're nice, I'm nice to them. And,
Sure.
if that's not what they want, then they can leave because I don't really care.
You know what I'm thinking? I forget when you started doing it, but when I would comment to the stream, you would go, Detective Thomas Gucci, how's the weather?
Yeah, from the Silent Hill movie.
Yeah. And my Discord name in your Discord is Detective Thomas
Yes,
Gucci.
it is. Yeah. That was pretty early on, actually.
It had to have been. And
Yep.
I just thought about it because I was, you were just talking about like regulars and stuff like that. And yeah. And it was weird. When I met you at Too Many Games, it's like, holy shit. Like I'm meeting somebody I've known on the internet for years, but I know you've met up with people you've met on the internet. You don't know this about me, but I have too. So it's not like the first time, but it is like, whoa.
When you go that long, though, it's like almost, let's say 8 years.
Yeah.
And then finally you meet up. It's like, the way I felt about it with you and Das, both at the convention, was like, well, it's been a long time coming. It's about time. You know?
I met him not
2 years ago, I think.
2 years ago. Yeah. And I know Feta was telling me like he was at this Too Many Games, and I think he was like cosplaying, and I forget if he told me what it was, and I was like, yeah, I haven't seen him or something like that. But yeah, it's interesting to kind of like put faces to names, and I always like I told you when we were prepping for the stream, it's like, do you want me to call you Togi? Because like I feel weird referring to people's usernames once you kind of like this barrier has been like breached.
Yeah.
Like it feels kind of weird to be like referring to people in real life as like usernames. Like that's always been me. Luckily my username is my last name. So
Right.
it's not really that strange. And most people, like in most communities I'm in, most people call me Gooch if they like if I'm like a regular and like they get to know me most of my friends call me that. A community I'm in, Three Dog, he's a Metal Gear streamer, not really doesn't stream Metal Gear that much anymore, but actually kind of has a similar like variety game style to you. Plays older games, plays some new stuff, plays a few games on launch, but like for not playing like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like something I would play that's up there that's not like a retro thing, trying to think off the top of my head.
Assassin's Creed?
Like Horizon,
Okay.
Assassin's Creed. Not playing that, but he'll play the new Doom. He'll play the new Resident Evil stuff. His bag, Delta, Metal Gear Solid Delta. But yeah, isn't playing a ton of new games all the time. And I feel like you typically don't play any new games all the time. But like I know you're like, I don't think you've ever streamed Horizon. That's not really your bag. You're more into the retro stuff. You're not playing like super massive open world games, except for your Morrowinds, Skyrim,
I do
Oblivion.
some. It really just comes down to the game, and like I find a lot of new games look boring. So I mean, to me, it's like I don't care for I played the first Assassin's Creed, but I got it, I played it, and like the way that I work is I'm very heavy on novelty. So like some people like really refined experiences. I like things that are new and make my brain go, oh, that's different. I haven't seen that before. So a lot of new games, especially AAA games, or the more produced games, tend to follow that road that's safer. And that's, I think, why I got so into retro for the last 5 years, because the games from the 90s are just weird. There's so many things you look at and you're like, why would they? Yeah, because they didn't know any better. They were just, they were playing and having fun. And that's kind of what we've done with Monster Tavern too. Is like, we got some ideas, we put them out there, we tried them, we saw what people liked, we kind of put it against our vision of what it should be, and changed it, put it back out, rinse, repeat. And if we were on a 1 year deadline, like in one of these 90s games, like we would have just fired it right out there, and people would be like, why'd they do this? It's like, well, I don't know, it just didn't get refined enough. We didn't know.
So we were talking about, you're sort of getting into game development, and I think by the time I started watching, you were, I'm sorry, I don't know the studio's name. You were working on the lacrosse game.
Yeah, that I'm back at now. Yeah.
Talk about that. How'd you get involved in that? Was that after the board game company? Like, was that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I didn't even finish with the board game company, but they wanted a digital make of their game, so we were doing that, and ultimately, like, I don't want to point too many fingers, but there was a little bit of mismanagement going on with the Kickstarter. It didn't quite have the love that the other Kickstarters they did had. It looked kind of cheap. And the first one, we actually hit our goal of 30,000, but we had a guy that really wanted one of the stretch goals, and he was like, I think we can do better. Let's try it again. And the next one was even worse. It didn't even hit the goal. So from that point, we kind of knew it was done for, because there just wasn't any funding for it. So I stayed on life support for that for a while. But then I wanted to move out west and live with my friends out there. So I was looking for work, and I don't even know how I came upon Carlo, my boss, but I found him somewhere. He found me, and He was like, yeah, I make lacrosse games. I guess he had a Flappy Birds clone that was lacrosse theme that did pretty well. So he had me belt out like 2-week mobile games. I'll call them mobile slop. It wasn't slop at that time, but it's the same idea. Like the temple runs. I think we had a temple run.
Yeah.
And he liked them. He was like, you know what? That's good. Let's move on. Let's make something bigger. He liked working with me. So we went through and we made the 2019 college lacrosse, the hottest lacrosse game on mobile, and the only one, but it was the hottest one too. And we got that out in 2019, and he was working with this other studio to make the Casey Powell, which are like the Steam and PS4, I think at the time, and Xbox ones. And he just wasn't super happy with like they did good work, but he didn't have a lot of input on it. So there were things he wanted in the game he couldn't get in. So we started working on that together, and once Stream started doing well, I wanted to do my own things, like I said. So I kind of backed off there because I had enough money to survive.
Right.
And yeah, I guess he kept what I had worked on, and he kept making it for 6 more years, and it just came out this year. And it coincided with me having to get a stable income. So I reached out to him, and I was like, I didn't actually ask for a job. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was like, hey, do you mind if I put this in my portfolio? And he was like, yeah, man, go ahead. You want to work for me again? I can pay you better now. And I was like, yeah, because it's remote, you know, like I can do it at my schedule and I get a lot of freedom on it.
Yeah.
And
you
he's
have
a chill dude.
From what I've seen, you have a pretty strange schedule. Or
it's getting better. It is getting better. It was bad when I moved back, and we were still streaming until 5 a.m. And at that time, like I said, I was working on my own projects. The first real project I jumped into was the MMO. Yeah. So I'd finish stream at 5 a.m. and I'd do the MMO till noon, and I'd wake up at 8 p.m. and stream, and then rinse, repeat, and that was wild.
I remember when you were doing that, and I remember when you were talking about it. And I don't think I realized. I'm like, oh yeah, Chris was doing like an MMO. Like,
oh yeah.
So how did you go from that to Monster Tavern? Are they connected at all?
No, not at all. There's just I've always had scope issues with. Well, first of all, let me step back.
Feel free.
I thought as a software developer, making a game shouldn't be too bad because I've played a lot of games, right? So you're like, I've played games, I can write code, let's make a game. But design is so much more than just playing games. Like, you really have to understand the psychology of the players, you know, who you're trying to target in the first place. So, like, for me, I don't like action games, so I wouldn't make an action game. Or maybe I would as a challenge or something, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
That's
you don't like it, so how can you make something you don't
I don't
like
understand
or you
it.
don't enjoy?
Yeah,
right.
and I could learn to, and that would be a part of the process, but I can't just jump in and do it. So we started with the MMO, and that was too big of scope, obviously. And then I made
fucking wild.
We got it working too, which was cool. Like, there were like 40 people on at one point, so that was awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was all people from Stream, but yeah, that was
which
really
is
cool.
awesome that you know, I feel like one of your, I don't know if I want to call it a perk, but a pro is like you have this community that is sort of like helping you not only develop but do things. Like, you know, I was involved in Monster Tavern for a little while.
We had a stint, yeah.
Yeah, a little stint when, you know, we were like, did I come to you or did you come to me?
I don't remember. I think you said something in chat and I came to you probably.
Oh, I think maybe you were saying yeah, and I was like, hey, like, do you need like a trailer done? And yeah, I was gonna end up video editing like one of the first trailers for the game, and Chris ended up going a different way. Totally fine, things happen like that. But it was like a cool opportunity to be like, fuck, dude, this is going to be like a cool portfolio piece. And I was unemployed at the time. And I remember we jumped on a call and it's like, yeah, we're both kind of in like a very similar situation. And as well as your girlfriend, it's like, this fucking sucks. Like, how the fuck are we here right now?
Yeah.
You know, luckily I ended up getting a full-time job after that, which I'm really grateful for. And especially in my field. And I can, you know, I feel like from that conversation, it's like, yeah, like you're kind of the same way. It's like you're working in your field is like something you want to do.
I will do. Yeah, it's that or die, right? Like,
yeah, right. And that was kind of me. It's like I don't want to like, you know, work a sales job. I mean,
right.
I work at a company that has salespeople, but
Sure.
I don't do sales. I'm in social media and video and exactly what I want to do. But yeah. Why did I start bringing this up?
I don't know. I'm trying to backtrack right now in my head. I'm like,
yeah,
where
we were talking about the MMO.
We were talking about the MMO, and then what came next?
Oh, I mentioned the stream being a part of the game development and part of like the, I guess you would call it an alpha. I mean, we're still kind of in beta in the early access.
Yeah, it's an early access right now, I'd call it. Yeah.
So game development question: is a beta an early access or no?
No,
They're two different
technically,
things.
so an alpha should be like a beta, but it's not public. It should be internal, to my understanding. A beta is something that you're like bringing people in as like a post. It's probably free. It's like a pre-test, and then early access is like
The game is done.
There's so much. I
Quote,
mean, Steam has a
playable.
lot of tape wrapped around that too that you have to
Yeah.
answer. They declined my answers like 3 times before they'd get me on the page, which was annoying. But early access is supposed to be an opportunity for you to include your community in the development of the game. So you should
Exactly
have
what
a
you're
game.
doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. You shouldn't have an incomplete game that like you can move
Breaks
your character.
halfway through.
Right. And like you shouldn't have like a character that walks around but nothing in the game, right? Like that's just nothing. It's not a game. It's got to be a complete game, and then you're stacking content, you're making changes, balance changes or gameplay changes. We've had a couple big gameplay changes.
Yeah. We're okay. I'm like trying to go back to where we were talking about the community being
and
involved.
community, yeah.
Yeah. So, and we were talking about how did the MMO lead to Monster Tavern?
Right. So the MMO is still my love. MMOs are my genre. I love MMOs. They hit all the boxes for me. But I recognized that wasn't going to work, so I scaled it back. And I had a friend from Stream actually. Again, Stream is a great asset. I've got a lot of friends. They've got a lot of skill sets, and one of them was an awesome 3D modeler. And we were going to work on a space roguelike. It was kind of like kind of a tactics game, but from like a side view, and the spaceships would be the dungeon, and you'd go room to room and make decisions and like duke it out with your turn-based tactical combat.
Cool.
And that was going well, but he got a little busy, I think, and had to slow down. And once he was out, I was kind of like, okay, I got to pull it back. So that's when I was like, okay, I got to reframe how I'm doing this and find the smallest thing that I can. So I did a game jam for myself for 2 days, and that's where This Sucks came from. If you ever saw that, it was the vacuum game. So it was like Katamari, but you had a vacuum and you'd suck shit up, and you'd start with like paper clips and coins, and then it would move up to like pillows and video games or fans or whatever, and then it was like chairs, and then you're sucking like the fridge and the dryer up, and you have 2 minutes, and the house was designed in a way that you couldn't just like linearly go straight up. You'd be like, I clear this room, then go up to this room, and then it kind of became a time trial to get to as big as possible, and people loved it. I was like, oh my God, people are like replaying it over and over to try and get everything. It's like you're achievement hunting. It's like, I want to clean the whole house out. And I said, okay, let's run with that. So I did that for like another year, 6 months maybe, and I made it into this like power wash sim thing, and I just totally missed the mark. Like I streamed it actually the other day just for fun, and I was like, it is still kind of fun, but I would love to go back and take it back to the base form of This Sucks, because it was just a sloppy fun game. And then that came to my scope issue again. I wanted to make a dungeon crawler, which turned into like an Elder Scrolls style, first person going through levels, fighting enemies, gaining skills, collecting XP, leveling up in open build scope, right? Like it just blows up, and one person can't do that. Not in like in-depth 3D. So after a year of that, I was like, I've done it again. I fucked up again. What can we do that is down to one mechanic? So I was like, at first it started as I don't want to call it cooking mama, but like, monsters would come up to the bar and you'd have a time to get them their drink, and you had to like mix it and hand it to them in 3D. And I was like, what if we just made a card game? That's one mechanic. Like, keep it simple. It's one mechanic that you grow on, and it just kind of built from there. So because we had assets from the RPG that were kind of fitting, and some of them are still in the game, actually. Like, the background is still a lot of the old RPG stuff, because it was like a dark fantasy RPG.
Nice.
So we just ran with that and built on top of that, and it's been an amazing time since.
So, card games. Is that's something you deck builders, whatever kind of card game. I don't know how many genres are within that genre, but like, was that something you were really passionate about beforehand? Were you just playing Hearthstone, or were you playing like all sorts of other games? Because like Marvel Snap was my big one,
right,
for a long time, and then I was just like, I'm done.
No. Card game would be halfway down the list for me, probably. But okay. I did play, like right now in Battlegrounds, we're top 200 in duos. Like, we've got a lot of high-end experience with card games. So,
and Battlegrounds, like Marvel Snap, not a PvE card game. You're playing people.
Yeah.
So that's where I think Monster Tavern is unique, where it's like I'm maybe you have an idea for like multiplayer later down the line, maybe. But like the PvE aspect, I think is like kind of enticing, because I feel like all the card games all of them have multiplayer.
Most TCGs are built around being multiplayer, and
Yeah.
that's for a reason. It's funny. It's a lot easier to make cards than it is to make monsters. I'm finding this. So like the red deck, we launched the game with one bar, which a bar is a collection of enemies into 3 weeks. So you have like the beasts in the first week, and then there's a boss at the end, and then in the second week you have the Sorry, I got distracted.
Yeah, you're fine.
I'm easily distracted. The second week you have like the greenskins, the orcs, the goblins, the trolls, and then a boss at the end.
Yeah.
And then we called it kind of like, it started as like Fae, and it turned more into like swamp or like almost Cthulhu-esque, like deep ones.
Yeah.
In the third week. And that was the first bar. So we had one bar, one bartender, and a bartender is a collection of cards. So it's like in Magic the Gathering, it'd be like your green deck, and you draft cards within that green deck. The red deck we had kind of started working on. I tore it totally apart, and within 30 days, it was put in, conceptualized, put in the game, tested, refined, good to go. That was nice. The monsters have been so much harder to make, though. So, like, the nice thing with the TCG is, like, I make a crappy card. People just don't take it, If I make a crappy monster, everybody runs into it, and it sucks. It's either boring or it's too difficult. So, and it also has to be, like, the card has to be good enough. I'm sorry, the monster has to be balanced enough that even, like, the lower-end cards are still viable against. So it's just a much harder process than the cards. So where that was 1 month, we're working on the second bar now, and I think we're like 2 months into it now. And I'm just finishing up the last boss. And we need to do a polish pass. We got to do we have a system called mugs, where like mug 1 is the base difficulty. Mug 2 is going to tweak the stats a bit, but it also adds in new abilities. So that's something like Slay the
So this is something you're going to patch in.
The mugs are already in. They launched with the game,
Okay.
But I'm working on it for the second bar now. So like the base difficulty is pretty much good. There's like the last boss is just like the tempo on him
It's
is
fucking challenging.
It is.
I was playing like over the weekend, and I'm like,
were
I
you?
still haven't killed a rat king.
Oh my god. Okay, you have to. He's
Like I think I just haven't played enough, and I'm
Yeah.
not understanding the game
Did you-
as well as I need to beat him. I
so
think that's
you should
the
reset
problem.
the tutorial because I've built a new tutorial.
I noticed that.
Did you?
I did.
Okay,
It was the
that should
first thing
help
I
a
did.
lot.
I
Okay,
was in
good.
the middle of a run. I
Good.
reset it, and I'm like, oh, I don't remember this guy, the tutorial guy. Yeah, I don't remember this, so that was new.
For the first run, dying on the Rat King's okay. If you die a second time, you're probably just not understanding mechanic, which
Right.
is on me to make the mechanics more clear. Or it just might not be your kind of game, too,
I
and you
mean-
just don't want to pay attention. That could be a thing, too. I saw some of that at the con.
Oh, sure. And I was just gonna say it probably is me not paying attention and trying to I don't kind of brute force my way through.
I do that all the time.
Yeah,
so.
and it's just I'm trying to think of a game I was playing recently that didn't collect Sorrows. Have you played Returnal?
No.
Okay, Returnal is a Housemark bullet hell game. It's like 3D. So Sorrows was like their second attempt at that.
Okay.
And Sorrows took me almost to the end of the game for it to click. And then I'm like, okay, finally, I'm understanding this loop and how to play and how all the weapons work and what I need to succeed.
Yeah.
But I struggled the entire way through. And I knew it's like I'm not understanding this game. It could be the game's problem. It could be me. Maybe it's a little bit of both.
Probably both. It's always a shade between.
Yeah, so I was like, what am I missing? And then, what fixed it? Just time.
Yep.
Playing the game more.
Yeah. So how do
fixed
you sell somebody on your game long enough that they want to get there, right? Because
Right.
I find with the card games, if someone fundamentally doesn't understand the rules, unless it's someone I know and I'm peer pressuring them into playing it, they're going to put it down because they don't have fun. Like the fun of a card game. And this is also the worst part of making a card game, marketing this, is it's not a visual spectacle, right? Like the monsters might be cute,
Yeah, they're
but
great.
it's
Yeah.
all about the card mechanics. I mean, there's so many card mechanics in the game. I think we've got 60 in each deck, and then another 15 neutrals
Wow.
shared between them. And I want to put more. I want another
it's pretty
40
crazy
more.
to think 60. I would have never. If you were to tell me guess a number, sub 20.
No. Yeah, there's 60 in each right now.
I probably don't even understand.
But you haven't gotten far enough, though. So another
Yeah.
thing, with learning development, is you can play a game and be like, yeah, I like how these cards are structured. What took us a minute to learn, though, was like I can't give you the big boy cards at the end. I've actually divided them up into 3 categories. I can't give you the end game cards early on because in a card game that just doesn't make sense. Like you need things you can put on the board. They give you a little bit of a build. So like the refreshing ale is one that you play it. It reduces the cost of a card in your hand by 1. So like you can combo that with things. But week 2 is where you're really getting combo cards. And it starts a little early. There's like a spread in RNG on it. So like by the 3rd day, there's a low chance you see them. By the Rat King, there's a fair chance you'll see them. And then in week 2, you'll definitely see them. So it's not like hard fixed on that. But then some of them are like Chugzilla, who's on one of the cards here. He's kind of our icon. He has an 8-cost card that does 15 damage on his Battle Cry when he comes out, or our Cheers. Battle Cry is what it is in Hearthstone. And, you know, that if you get that at the beginning of the game, first of all, you're probably not going to be able to play it because you don't have the, like, energy to ramp it down and then play it. Yeah. But 15 damage, you know, you'd blow the Rat King away halfway with it if you played it right away.
I'm trying to remember. I think it has Keg in the name. There's a...
Kit Keg?
Is that it? Is that the tanky one with 14 health?
Yeah.
Because I don't remember seeing that when I last played the game, and I was using that on the Rat King, and I had him when I first started that day, and I like used him immediately, and it definitely like saved my skin. But then I got like overwhelmed like really quickly, and I was like, "Fuck!" And I was like, "Okay," like I'm like slowly figuring this out. I'm sort of jumping ahead a little bit to Too Many Games because we were talking about getting feedback and like watching people watch. So to give some background, Chris had the chance to not only go to Too Many Games to, I want to say, quote-unquote, debut his game, but he won an award at the Indie Showcase there for Best Deck Builder, which is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know Too Many Games is a huge convention, but I know the award show is fairly new. This is the second one. I had no idea that they did this. And to be recognized by, you know, I'm not sure like who their council of voter is that must be something, you know. I'm especially for a game that's like still in early access, and you know, and that is the kind of con I feel like. I mean, of course, if like PAX recognize you, that's a big deal. But like, I feel like this is the fact that you were there. That's really who you want to be talking to.
Absolutely,
like that's the audience.
Yeah. No, and it's like there's. I mean, the award is one thing. Seeing people play in person was amazing too, because the game launched, and we've since learned that we have no skills in marketing. And, you know, like what metric do you have to say your game is good? Sales, right? So the sales are low. So it's like, I failed. You know, it's where my brain goes. I made a shitty game. It's boring. No one wants to play it. I hate it. But, you know, sitting there and having people come over, first of all, after the first day was pretty good. Like, we were like, this is better than we expected.
Friday, right? It was the first day?
Friday. You were there during Saturday. The 5-hour or so peak that we had. You saw all 3 of us were engaged with people the whole time. There was like a line of people,
which is great.
Yeah, the 2 computers. Those are my computers. I dragged them both in.
You bought your own computers?
Yep, that's a whole story in itself. But yeah, the 2 chairs were always taken, and people were always having fun. Like the only people, there were a couple people that walked away. There were a couple kids that were like 10, where it's just like they want to just click and have fun.
Right. It's a bit too sophisticated.
Yeah. So that's immediate. There was one lady that was very mean, and she was drunk. So I was like, whatever. Yeah. She got upset because we didn't have multiplayer.
Yeah.
So yeah, if she hears this for whatever reason, I'm sorry, but there's no multiplayer. She was very upset.
What was some of the feedback you were getting that you found really valuable? I'm sure, like, you know, just like anything, especially when you're evaluating art or you're critically analyzing things. This is something I learned in college. Like, some people are really bad at giving feedback. There sometimes is nuggets of good information in there, but they're probably like too negative to get it out to you. I'm not sure if you had that experience, but like, yeah, again, what was the good feedback you got?
So I'll tell you the good feedback, but first, as a developer, you should not listen directly to what people are complaining about, because it's usually a symptom, right? It's not the actual cause. So they know it's not fun. They're frustrated with something. And you have to listen to people, but you have to really hear what they're saying and then understand, like, I'm trying to think of a good example. Oh, so a lot of people complain, or not complain, I should say. A lot of people pointed out that they had difficulty with the attack and health values being next to each other. And, like, they don't understand that the left number is going to hit the right number. So there's a whole thing here where the cards are paired, like with Magic or Hearthstone, you read left to right. And I've learned that color doesn't help because red to me is attack. But to my girlfriend and to a few people at the con, it's Vitae, health. So they're like that, but the red should be what my health is on there. So that's worthless, having the color there.
Yeah, because green could technically be health too.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So they were suggesting things like, switching positions of the numbers and all that. And I'm like, I understand that's how it feels. Before I jump the gun on that, I want to put a shield on the health and a sword on the attack. And I have a feeling that will cut 90% of that problem out because there's now an image association with it as well. So, like, things like that, there's a lot of feedback like that.
Yeah.
The good feedback, though, is nonverbal or sometimes verbal, but, like, sounds. Like, so, again, I was kind of losing the wind from my sail. I was like, maybe people don't really like the game. There is no doubt in my mind after being at Too Many Games that people like the game now because I could see it. I could see them playing, and the people who enjoyed it would sit there for 40 minutes. Like, at a convention that you're there all day, like, they're just hanging out at our booth playing this game. One guy came back a second time for 40 minutes. And, you look at them, and when you're playing a game like this, like, let's say you're playing a fighting game, you're going to be like all over the place, you're really involved and you can tell. For a game like this, you have a deadpan stare when you're staring at the screen. And I've seen this watching Feta on Discord too, because you're thinking. You're not
right.
like...
It's thought.
It's exactly. So that's what I'm looking for, is that they're engaged and they're locked in, but then afterwards I can see the sparkle in their eye. I can tell they enjoyed it. And that was just such a great feeling. Like, getting the award was a great feeling. Watching people genuinely have fun with something I built was that was the sauce right there. That was it.
So let's back up to the games at the beginning. How'd you find out about this? Did you submit yourself? What was the whole process for that?
So Das obviously has been asking me to go for years.
Yes, and I've mentioned it. I'm like,
yeah,
it's local. Like, why don't you just do a panel or something?
Yeah, you did mention a panel. Yeah, and I'm like, man, nobody wants to fucking listen to me talk.
I think you'd be surprised. People showed up to my panel.
Okay. They're like, what's this about?
Yeah, a lot of people I knew, but a lot of people I did not know.
Right. That's cool though.
Yeah, it felt very good.
Yeah, so we were, like I said, we were trying to figure out how to advertise because that's the game right now. And like we tried YouTube Shorts, and I realized, like, because I'm not an artist, I don't know what it is. I'm not an expert in this part. I think it's because, and this is what we struggled with on the trailer, like the gameplay isn't that exciting to watch.
For sure.
So it's tough to sell somebody on these like action moments that don't exist. And some people are good at that. Like some video editors, they fucking cook. But I just, like, when I was sending you videos, I was recording stuff, and I'm like, man, this isn't exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I identified with that. It's like, you kind of have to edit it to be exciting.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not the gameplay itself that's going to, like, do the heavy lifting.
Exactly. So we stepped away from that, and we were like, well, let's see what conventions, and we literally just shot in the dark. And Too Many Games declined us at first.
And when did you have this conversation?
When?
Yeah, like what time of year? Because, like...
Oh,
no idea.
It's like April, May, I want to say.
That's pretty late.
Yeah.
It's like not like you were like, we're in December of 2025.
Right, right.
Like,
I think it was 3 months out, 3 to 4 months out, because we were pretty close to the end.
Yeah.
So we sent it in, and like 2 weeks later, they closed it off, and then they declined us.
I was declined first, too.
Yeah, that's what you told me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, shit. And what was really weird is Frank messaged me at first. He was the guy running it. And then Francis emailed me from a different email address after to accept me, and then sent me the bill for it. So I was like, is this a scam? Like, did they somehow get a list of people who got declined?
So you have to pay to be there.
Yes.
You're technically like a vendor.
Yes.
Even though you're not selling things.
I want to say it was like $350 to $500 or something for the booth.
It's not bad.
No, it's not. And I was like excited to do more. We looked at we were looking at Play New York City. That's 15, and PAX Unplugged is like $3,000 just for the booth. There's, mind you, there's a myriad of other expenses. That said, we're not going to do Play New York, but I'm going to try to save up, and we're going to try to get into PAX Unplugged because that would be awesome.
I think me and Feta were talking about it, and I was like, what? Real quick, we're talking about Feta. Mike,
yeah.
What does he do for Monster Tavern exactly? What is his...
I call him my wrangler because I just... Like, Monster Tavern started, and I was like, well, how do we get you your new cards, your upgrades?
Yeah, you guys made physical cards at
We
the
did
con,
make physical
which
cards.
You probably can't see.
Probably can't.
But I got them.
Limited edition promo cards. Yeah, they'll be worth
in
something.
Sleeves.
Mm-hmm. I sleeved those by hand.
I was going to say, I'm like... I thought I didn't notice like there was an opening.
Hand.
I'm like, who the fuck did this?
Yeah.
That was my question. Like,
it took a while. But shit, where were we?
Well, I was just Feta's role.
Wrangler
in the game.
So I will always try to fly off the tracks because nothing is ever enough for me. So his role is to basically, he's like my Caesar Milan. You know, he's like, "Tsk, tsk, don't do that, don't do that." So like at one point, I tried to make a dungeon underneath the tavern, and you went into this top-down view, and you would actually be like rearranging like hoarded stuff in the basement. And it was nonsense, and it's totally unnecessary, and that's why it took me 6 years to make my first game, because, well, technically longer than that, but like 6 years of really trying to make a game, because I always want to add on features. There's always more that I want to do, and it's like, as a developer, the problem is you're never going to have fun with your game. Like, you might have instances of fun, but you know, I've played it for 10,000 hours. Like, there's no game I can play for 10,000 hours other than an MMO that I'm going to still look at and be like, oh, this is so fucking cool. Like, I love it. You know, it's really tough not to have that feeling. So you have to believe it's fun based upon what you're seeing from other people. So he was a person that played it, you know, and could give me feedback that was, you know, and he eventually got too many hours on it too, and we've had to recruit more people to play.
Right. It's just like you've looked at this for too long. Like, you're not, maybe not biased, but like you're
absolutely biased. I know every card in the game.
Biased.
Like when I play Slay the Spire, I'm like, well, I mean, at this point maybe not, but at the start it's like, yeah, maybe there's some card I haven't seen that'll go well with this. And now I'm just like, there's no card that's going to do what I want with that. The cool part is I can be like, so I'm going to make it. You know, like I want that, so I'm going to make it.
Right. Yeah, and that's part of art, right? Getting inspired, and you know what is it? Mimicry is the flattery, and mimicking or whatever, copying is the best form of flattery, I think is it. But yeah, that's awesome. And I know his cousin is the person who did all the card art.
It's his cousin's niece, so we just call her his niece.
let's keep it simple.
Yeah, Kat. Yeah, she did all the card art, and she did the bar art. And then Angela, my girlfriend, did the first 2 weeks monsters, but you know, she's been very busy trying to find jobs, trying to keep her apartment afloat or her house afloat. So we had another friend step in for the last week. Mang still says, you know, I'm going to go back and finish them. I'm going to finish that. I'm like, no, we have another bar now. You can start on the next bar now if you want. It's fine. Literally no one has ever complained about the week 3 monsters. You know, it's whatever. People recognize there's different artists that work on games, and it's a little different. But yeah.
The Hyena's my favorite.
Yeah,
I mean, the Rat King's like hard not to like.
Yeah. there's a lot of she does great work. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
She's very much a creative artist, and I wish I could pay her full time to work on it so that she could do all the monsters, and that would just be awesome because she does an amazing job with them.
Yeah. So going, I think how we got to Mike. I've always wanted to go to PAX Unplugged. It's at the worst time of the year. It's during Christmas.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I assume a lot of people still go, but like Philly is busier than ever during that time period. People are busier than ever. I feel like it's never like there's always been something that's going on. So hopefully you're at PAX Unplugged, so it kind of gives me more of an excuse to fucking go.
I might draft you into working at the booth because what I really found was like, so Mike and his niece could only be there Friday and Saturday, and I was like, no problem, I got Sunday. Sunday was also busy.
You did Sunday solo.
My mom went with me too, and I thought she'd be like, you know, be a help. But after Saturday, I realized, no, people are asking questions about the game. They need the game reset so they can play the demo. You know, they're asking questions about the company. They want to do interviews and stuff like that for their podcasts or, you know, whatever news sources they're sending out to.
Yeah.
And my mom can't help with any of that. So the only thing I was like, I'm running to the bathroom, watch the stand. And actually, one of the best parts about being at PAX was I've never been involved in like any game developer community.
Too many games, you mean?
I mean, like a Discord or like a group or a jam or anything like that. I've never done any of that stuff, so I don't know anybody from these things. The people there were so cool.
I got
a lot of business cards. Oh yeah. Actually, the guys. Did you see Deluge?
Yes.
Yeah, I was just chatting with him. He streams on Twitch too. So his game is about 5 hours long, and it's kind of like a horror RPG. And I was like, yeah, I'll play it for my Halloween. Like, that's one stream, sure, you know?
Yeah. I know somebody who knows a dev who's there, and do you know his name off the top of your head?
His first name is Chris.
Okay, well, that's easy to remember.
Yeah.
I think, so my buddy Frank, who, friend of the show, who I actually met on Twitch, who is another local.
So this is a regular thing for you, is finding people on Twitch that are local.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I mean, some people have he found me actually.
No shit.
Because his Twitch name is Delco's Prodigal Son.
Okay.
So he found Delco on our network, easy enough. Yeah, I've palled around with him. Actually, his mutual friend, who is my coworker, is how I got my job.
Mm-hmm. It's all about networking.
It is.
It really is.
It really is. It is really about who you know and like exhausting every possible connection you have. But he knows somebody who's been going there a few years, and it's cool to hear. It's like you walk around and you see what kind of games people have. Also, like, I'm sure there's not a lot of there is maybe a few locals, but I'm sure people from all over the place.
Yeah, it's a mix for sure. Yeah, I mean, the guys next to us were down in Georgia. Mm-hmm. The ones behind us, I think, were in Michigan. And then I think the guy from Deluge, he's in Philly, so he was local.
Yeah, it might be him.
Is it? Okay.
Because he's from Philly. He's a friend of his. So I'm gonna have to ask again, and I'll put two and two together. But Too Many Games. Okay, you get into Too Many Games. You've never been to Too Many Games.
I've never been to any convention ever.
So what was this like? Not even from the fact that you were like running a booth. What was it like? Too Many Games is like pretty massive.
Yeah, well, I mean, from the start, it was confusing because we didn't get any logistic stuff early on.
Yeah, where the fuck do I go?
And the building is kind of like 3 buildings stacked on top of each other. And the first bit of information showed us our loading area was on the side, right? So it was like, cool, it's not that far of a walk. While we get there, the loading bays were closed. So, and by we, I mean me. I was there at 9 o'clock in the morning. I've got everything that matters to me in my life along with me. I've got my monitors, my computers,
That's crazy.
I don't have any wagon or anything like that, so I carried my 33-inch monitor under my arm all the way from the parking lot in the front all the way back to my booth, which is pretty far. It was probably about a quarter mile or so.
Jesus Christ.
That was about 9 or 10 trips. And
oh my God.
Yeah, and of course it's like you forget shit. So like it was hot in there at first because the reason the bays were closed, they turned the AC on, so they were getting it cooked up. And I'm like, shit, I forgot my deodorant. So my first thought is like, I'm going to be the smelly guy here.
No.
So I texted Mike. I was like, get me a stick of deodorant, please. So he got there at 2 o'clock with everyone else coming in. I'm like, oh my God. But he got behind because the FIFA traffic in Philly was wild, apparently.
Yeah.
So, So anyway.
Yeah, because he's from Jersey.
Yeah, so we had to cross over through Philly. Yeah. But yeah, once everything got set up, it's funny because like the first hour or two of the con is really slow because everybody's up at the vendors. They're all going through the vendor stuff. So not a lot of people were back in the indie spot. But then once they kind of made their rounds, boom, it was just like nonstop traffic going through. Getting set up was kind of a chill experience because just in your own world and like, I was talking to the people around us, making friends. Borrowing stuff from them that I forgot.
Yeah.
So, like one of the main things that I was concerned about was so many of the other booths looked really cool. So
yeah, I that was like the first thing I said, and then I was like, well, it doesn't necessarily mean the game's going to be good, but certainly the booth would bring people in.
Yeah, exactly. Like the guy again, the Venison County guys next to us. Yeah, no, none taken. No, I mean, I knew that's what I was saying, right? So,
yeah,
the Venison County guys had like an what they call a camo tent with AstroTurf because they were kind of like a redneck style hunting game. Or it wasn't a hunting; it was a boomer shooter, but like redneck style, and it just totally fit their theme. And then the guys that did the karate fighting game, they came in with their gis. They had all these cool props set up. The Deluge guys had like these nice kind of like spooky theme set up, like it was all black and nicely typefaced, and I was just like really loving all the other booths. And I looked at my booth, I was like, yeah, it's kind of plain. But I talked to them, and they were like, yeah, dude, don't like you said, Wemby, you didn't say this. You were talking about the mimicry. Comparison's the thief of joy, though, right? So they were like, we've been to 8 conventions. Every time you find something new, you put it in your booth, and your booth just gets better and better every year. So yeah, nobody was judging. It was just they were at that spot once too, and like they were happy to lend me stuff when I needed it, which was awesome. I forgot my business cards the first day, so that sucked. But I did manage to get them the next 2 days, so that was good.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. I mean, like, you asked me before we started, like, did you get a chance to check things out? And I wish I did, but it was so busy that we really didn't. I mean, I did one walkthrough. Yeah, totally. But I would have loved to have played more of their demos. I would have loved to have gotten into, like, the vendor stuff, because there were so many games.
That's really what I'm there to do. And I bought Spyro 2 and 3 on PS1. Control Ultimate Edition, and there's another game. I don't know, but I only bought like 4 games. Like some years I go hard, some I don't. Like it's kind of like a feeling. But I felt Too Many Games this year, and I didn't talk about it in what we're doing because I knew we were going to talk about it here. I think this is the biggest I've ever seen it. That room you're in, there is usually a gap of nothing.
Okay.
And I don't know if they had more to fill it. what the situation was. They laid it out better, but like from the moment you walk in to the back where the wrestling ring and the esports and the arcade are happening, there's something in that whole space. And yeah, there are some room for you to sit down, but like even in that room, there's stuff going on. There's tabletop, there's D&D, there's, you know, space to sit, but there's also vendors back there, and then the panels and the stages, and like the way when I did my panel, the way they had the stages kind of sucked. They were all right next to each other, so it was really hard to hear. And when I started doing Q&A, and I had a nice line, which was awesome, I felt like really cool. And then they start coming up, and I'm like, I can't hear a fucking word you just
I heard
said,
that was
dude.
a problem this year too. Zolfar, who ditched me, I did not get to talk to him this year, but he had a booth, or not a booth, he had a thing like yours, and it was him and another guy, and they couldn't hear the questions.
So, like, my cousin is a videographer, so I had him come he recorded the panel, because I'm like, I want to have this. And he ended up editing all of the... Can you say that again? Like, and like...
Oh, nice.
So
you chopped it
so
all
like,
out.
if you were to go watch my panel on our channel, youtube.com/Delco Network, which is where you're watching this podcast, hopefully. Yeah, you can go find it, and it's like, it's clean. But like, yeah, I was just like, holy shit. Like, if I were to do this, like, give me an in-ear piece or something. Like, holy shit. Yeah, because like, especially where you were too, I'm sure talking to people as fucking Super
Oh my
Mario
God.
is you know, body slamming the main protagonist from San Andreas. You're like, you know, you can't hear shit.
Yeah, I watched Solid Snake get hurled out of the ring by Waluigi, and I didn't see it. Mike told me, I don't know if it he told me that Papa Rop the rapper was the referee and counted him out. And I was like... That's when I had to go watch. I was like, I got to go walk over there. But no, I had to walk across, and usually I would be on the other side talking to people just because I couldn't hear them across there. And I have a hard time hearing in general in bar
I
noise.
kind of do too. I feel like in big rooms like that. And that kind of sucks. It's like, yeah, like, it's cool. Like, I think I got a lot, when I did my panel, I got a lot of people because I was like, right near the arcade, there were people walking back and forth. All the seats were filled, but there were like people standing and listening. And I feel like I benefited from that, but also it's fucking loud. So it's like, how high quality is this panel? I did a panel at Fan Expo, and it was the exact opposite. We were in the room off of like, you know, not even the main floor. There wasn't a lot of people at the panel, unfortunately, but like, I could hear, but there wasn't enough people for us to have like a Q&A or anything like that. So it's like, I don't know, you pick and you choose. It's like, I think you just kind of have to like go into maybe doing a panel, and if you're getting it recorded, I mean, they record and live stream everything. It's like, you know, I would ask my cousin, hey, can you like plug something into their audio board so that I can have the audio?
That'd be nice.
Yeah, like that's what I would do now that I've done it. For your instance, I don't know how you'd fix that. You just, I mean, luckily you can just go walk.
Yeah, I was
going to
say, you linger on the other side.
Yeah.
Try not to look too creepy.
Yeah, TooManyGames is massive. I think it's overwhelming. My girlfriend Nicole came with me for the first time this year, and I'm like, you're going to see some things that you will question. like you're going to see a lot of what I call degenerate nerd.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of the nature of it. And like, yeah, it is overwhelming. There's a lot of people. There is a lot of smells. There's a lot of vendors.
Smells especially, yeah.
Just a lot.
Yep.
And it, like, I feel like it's kind of like a bad first con experience because it's not really chill. Like, because like maybe because I'm like maybe
it depends what you want.
Right. I'm like, maybe you want your first con experience to kind of be like, oh, you don't have to like, dude, I'm not going in that vendor, that booth, because it's like there's so many fucking people.
Right.
And
yeah.
sometimes it's like, dude, I'm not even gonna attempt. I'm not going in there. Like, I'm just gonna walk by. And it's this. And now that I've been there more than a few years, the same vendors with the same setups in the same spot, and I see the same people at the same booths. You know, it's just like I'm getting to know these people throughout the years. It's like, oh yeah, I bought something from them. It's like, oh, here's the booth that does like, if you buy two, you get one for $5 or one for free, and it's just like their games are always like not complete in box or scratch, so I never end up buying anything from them, even though their deals are so good. Anyway. But yeah, I feel like TooManyGames is like perfect for what you needed, and it sounds like it really was. So Thursday night was the award show. You just got submitted into that like automatically as like a game in the indie game section.
He sent so Frank sent me an email, and he said, record a video of yourself for an acceptance speech. And I said, Well, I'm down in Texas right now. Like, I didn't say this to myself. I'm saying it. I'm down in Texas right now. I don't have my, like, good microphone. I've got the shitty, like, Razer Kraken $40 headphone. I've got my laptop, no green screen. The cat stuff's in the background. So I'm not good at public speaking. Like I said when I came here, I want to shoot from the hip because I overthink things too much. Like, I'll sit here and be like, did I say this? Oh, God, did I stutter this?
Oh, dude, you'll forget something inevitably with
Yeah.
podcasting. Every podcast. Fuck, we forgot to talk about this.
Yeah, and that's okay when you're doing it off the cuff like that. But when you try to stick to a schedule or like a speech, it's tough.
Oh yeah, for sure. I've never had an accepted speech written out or done one.
Well, this was about 5 lines, and I took maybe 6 or 7 tries at it, and finally I was like, I'm just sending it in, whatever. So it was actually on Friday night. We didn't find out till 8:30. So, like, the first day, we're cooked after the first day. We're ready to go home. 8:30, Frank's walking around. He's like, by the way, award ceremony for indies is over at I think it was the Necco Stadium or Necco.
Yeah, the one in the front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're like, do we even really want to go to this? Like, maybe we'll just go home. And I forget, it was probably Mike that was like, well, let's just check it out. So we went, we sat all the way in the back. And I was like, you know what? Even if we do win the award, they're just going to play my video, and then we'll pick up the thing tomorrow probably. So it starts, and the audio was a mess. The whole thing was a mess, frankly. There was one guy who they played his acceptance speech 3 times in a row for different games, even though they were his games, so he kept popping up on the screen.
That's like embarrassing, and if I was that game, I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me?
He wasn't there, thankfully, so he doesn't even probably know. But like the audio on the videos wasn't playing, so the people at the front were reading it. You know, like the YouTubers that were up there, they were reading it. It was a mess, but it was really funny.
Horrible to hear because I know the person who's done the audio like the streaming, the person who does the streaming in the past just through networking, and I'm like, I don't know if it was him, but that sucks to hear.
Something screwed up, yeah. But it was funny. Like, no one was having a bad time. Yeah, it was just like okay, well, so we see
maybe someone has a bad time.
Well, we see probably about 4 or 5 games ahead of us. The first people that were in house that win an award got called. And they just got up and went up on stage, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we can bring you up. Come on."
Oh, so that wasn't even supposed to happen.
No, I had no idea. And then I was like, "Oh shit." Well, they would have told me, right? Like, they would have given me time to prepare if I was going to win, so we're good. And Mike just kept saying, like, dude, what if we win? What if we win? And we're like, all right, let's get the phones out and record. And at this point, I know we're going to win. Like, I can feel it. Because it's like, this is the most awkward situation that could possibly happen. There's no way we're not going to win just because it's going to embarrass the crap out of me. So we have a video of the recording, you know, from the back, and you see them say Monster Tavern, and Mike's just like, no fucking way, and the video comes down and shuts off because we got to rush up there then.
Right.
And you know, before he asked me, he was like, do you want me to do the speeches? He knows that I have a very hard time speaking in front of people like that. Like, I get tripped up. I don't know what to say. And I was like, I can't do that. It's my game. You know, I have to do it.
Right.
So we got up there, and fortunately, I was so sleep deprived that I just belted it out. I was like, let's just fucking do it. So, you know,
give me that fucking mic.
Yeah. And I handed it to him, and he declined it. So there's this funny picture going around of him just being like...
I tried to look up the streams. I don't think...
It's gone.
It sucks, because I'm like, it's just really like like, I feel like that should be public.
Well, you know what? The live stream, I saw pictures after, because they were posting them on my Discord. I let people know, and there was like 20 people in the live stream, and half of them, like, you can see Mangs in there, and like Wonka, and like people from the community. They're the ones that are all in chat there, so it was kind of funny.
That's awesome.
But when the stream ended, they did take it down, so the only videos we have, there's one of Mangs, like right as I accept it, like she didn't get my speech. It's right as I'm taking it, and then she starts cheering in the background, so you hear her loud ass screaming in the background. So it's not a good trophy piece for the picture, but or for the video. But I did get the picture of me taking it, and I think you saw I've been plastering that all over. Like, it's on the Steam page. Yeah. I think it's so funny.
It is funny. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's awesome. Like, again, congrats. Like,
thanks.
It's cool to, like, you know, your game is still in early access, and you know you're getting. I want to say notoriety. That's not it.
Well, we did get nominated. There's 4 people that got nominated for Best in Show. Like, on site. Best in Show on site.
Right.
So that means that they at least acknowledged that we were one of the top 4 games there.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
And as you apply for PAX Unplugged, I'm sure it's like, hey, we won an award at another local college.
Oh, that's getting told everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
and it's on the Steam page. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's cool to have that banner there. It's like that you have some sort of accolade to show that, hey, you are not just some slop game.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I think it's actually helped because I've noticed, so like the first month of sales, we had a big spike. It was like, 100 copies sold or something, which, I didn't know what to expect. So it was lower than I expected, but I was happy to see so many people supporting and interested in it. And then after the first month, it was like 1 or 2 a week, right? Since the convention, there was a big spike for the first week after, and we've been getting like 3 sales a day. So that's awesome. Like, I'm glad, because I think these are people outside of the community that just stumble across it now, and they're like, hey, that looks cool. I want to try it. And that's exciting for me. Like, I'd love to get more people active and involved. I have no idea how to do that. I think we just had our first random person join Discord and ask a question, so that's exciting.
That's kind of like me with DNN. It's like, we just had some random person who's a local join the Discord, and I don't know them.
Yeah.
But, like, there's a lot of people in our Discord, and I appreciate every single one of them that I know them, they're friends, or someone associated with me in some way, shape, or form. But there are a lot of randoms, and it's like just like any other Discord, you have regulars and then you have lurkers, or people who are just joined and are inactive. And it's really cool to be like, holy shit, I don't know this person, and they're commenting on the video, or they're buying the game, or they're joining the community, and it's like, I don't know who that is.
That's exactly what I'm looking for right now, especially with reviews, because I think there's one review that's somebody that's not connected to me in some way.
That's why I didn't review it. I'm just like my review, great, I guess it's good, but like I'm biased. Like I like the game, but like I also know the developer, so there's a bit of
let me say that
should I review the game?
Yes. And Steam tells you're not allowed to tell people to review the game and like give it a positive review. But I will just state out that the way that Steam works, they've got a lot of metrics, and one of their metrics for exposure, and we've noticed the spikes, is when you go from 1 to 10, you don't get much, if any, and then it's like 11 to 49 reviews. You start to get a little more, and then 50 plus, you get a bigger spike. So like,
okay, I'll review it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. And don't tell me what you're going to review. You can do negative if you didn't have a good time. Just be honest.
Yeah. I mean, even like with like podcast reviews, like Spotify and Apple Podcasts have review things, and it's like I welcome constructive feedback.
Oh, totally.
And it's like I have a very small audience, and I often don't get a lot of like legitimate constructive feedback. Some people who don't like our takes, that's really not it. And it's like I feel like I've kind of hit like the peak with my thing. It's like I could upgrade all this equipment to like the Rode mics and the fancy Twitch fucking Elgato board with like the glowy buttons that I could do so much better than this board, but like it kind of gets the job done, and I want to upgrade things, but that's not really going to make the content better. Like
no.
it's kind of reached a high quality ceiling. And it's like, doing things like this where it's like, I have access to you in probably a very unique way that most people don't, but also you're local to me. So, that's why getting you in person meant like a lot to me. And it's like, I want to give you a platform, even though it's a very small one. Somebody can watch this, joins the community, and be like, oh, like I can learn a bit more about the game and hopefully become attached to you, join the stream. And like the game is now a bit more like there's a bit more emotion in it than just it's a game I played, but also now I've gotten to know the guy who's making it, and I feel like a connection towards him.
That's a huge part of early access. And going back to the beginning of what we were talking about with how many games there are out there, it's like, I think that's part of what people look for now, because it's like every other game is just a face in the crowd. But if you know the person and you feel like your input is valued, and like even if you just like suggest something and you see that put in, like that's super cool. As a player, like if I did that for Hearthstone, for instance, and then I saw my card put in the game, or I saw a change that like I was bitching about, even if maybe it wasn't me, but they just took it from somewhere, it was the same thing.
Right.
I'm like, I feel connected a bit more to it, and it's more enjoyable.
Right, and especially as a small developer, you can join the Discord and easily
100%.
do that. And when you were first making the game, we were in Discord, and you were doing those dev streams for like a month plus?
It's like 3 months, I want to say.
Okay, yeah. I was like, I know a while, but it's just like, where like, people's feedbacks were influencing things, and you were like, give me some card names. And I remember like, I think I was like, I'm like, I gave you the recommendation. I'm like, you should just go to a bar and watch people and like get ideas for things. Because I'm sure you could easily because like all your card designs are based off like bar culture and drinking culture, which is easy to emulate. But like, even me, I like drinking, but like I don't really go and sit in a bar all that often. To like a bar, not like a brewery, like a bar, and like look at the types, and it's like, how does that influence a monster? How does that influence a card? And especially coming from the game dev background and this, you've put so much hours in the game, it front to back. Like I'm sure it could just flow things. But then other people like, oh, you should do this, and like is it Lone Wolf IPA?
Yep.
Yeah. Like I think I feel like that card was talked about in chat a lot, and I don't know if it was because it was like a favorite of yours or somebody in chat influenced it, but like the fact that like, oh, I gave you an idea for a card and it's in the game, like that's really
that was
cool.
a Feta one actually, a Mike one, and it's funny because his original take on it was like so here's how that one came to be. You play it, and the goal of the card was you're behind, it helps you catch up, but his implementation of it was very awkward. It was for each monster in the bar, it gains like 2 health or something like that, and then it had a high attack and it would lose attack based on the drinks. So you can see from that explanation it's very confusing.
Yeah, it's complex.
It didn't feel like it did what he wanted to do. So I don't know if you know Azkika, but he was playing and he said, dude, I hated Lone Wolf at that point. He's like, dude, I fucking love that Lone Wolf card. It feels like John Wick. Like John Wick walks to the bar. I was like, okay, wait a minute. What if it like did its damage to random targets? Because like I now imagine it being like pow 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 pow, and like putting that in the game just felt good. And now it's like, honestly, I don't think it's a great card, but people love it.
It's a fan favorite.
It's a fan favorite. It was the second most taken out of the 5 promo cards too. Pretty close with Chugzilla. So
yeah,
people like the art on it. They like how it plays. The problem with it is it's not reliable. So like on higher difficulty play, it can hit the same thing all 4 or 5 times. So you could hit the weakest thing 4 times and you get screwed. You could also hit the exact target you want. But that's, again, like that's a choice to pick a Gamba card like that. And when it works, it is hilarious. Like I've seen some crazy stuff with it.
So you said you've been working on Bar 2 for a while.
Yeah, like 2 months.
When do you think it's going to be done?
It is entirely playable right now. So the way the bar design goes, and any of the design goes, is I draw my placeholder art, and it's terrible. It's MS Paint.
Yeah.
And people have asked for an MS Paint version of the game, where, like, you know, like Donkey Kong, I'm sorry, Big Head mode
like
from GoldenEye.
Right, you go to the settings, like MS Paint.
Yeah. But I don't think I would do that, because it would just be, it'd be weird.
You would have to, like, re-put everything back into the game. Like, I assume, like, yeah,
I've probably I have a lot of it. I actually have a lot in there, because I give them a different naming convention, so it's still, most of it is still there. Yeah, in the project folder. But, yeah, so I getting that done is going to take a while, I know, and I've got some ideas for it. So Mangs just did her first sketch of one of the monsters, and it looks great. But I'm trying to get her to just like do a basic job of it, and then pass it off to an artist who has more time to color it in and do the line, like, you know, fill it in.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So yeah, that part is probably going to take. I mean, if it depends how long I want to put into it, a month, maybe longer. The mugs are going to be, you know, once it's in, the mugs take a week or 2, and the achievements another week maybe. So, yeah, for your achievement hunter, there's some good achievements in there.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the list. There's 14,
some good ones,
right?
There's some BS ones too. So like the final boss has this move. Okay, so little spoilers. So he's this like he's the frog Hemoth, if you know of that from D&D. It's like a large like colossal frog creature.
Yeah. I was gonna say like I can. Yeah.
So he's got eye stalks that come up in the different seats, and he goes down under the bar, and you like just see like him lurking, and then he does a 30 damage attack to the bar directly. So he'll fuck you up. So you have to destroy the eye stalks to stun him during those, and they've got a good chunk of health. So you kind of have to prep the eye stalk, knock the eye stalk out right before it goes off, and stop him. And there's other stuff going on in the fight too. There's an achievement to survive 2 big bites and then beat him afterwards.
Nice.
So you have to get to him. You actually only have enough health you don't have enough health to survive 2 of them, so you have to get one of the trinkets that'll give you some bonus health or protect you from a hit, and then you have to play perfectly, basically. Mm-hmm. So that one's kind of BS, and something somebody suggested, too, we have alternate trinkets to start with, and they're tied to a lot of achievements like that, and they're like, I hate that I have to, like, go through this horrible achievement to get this unlock. So I don't know how to feel about that, because I like being rewarded for doing things like that, but also I could see, like, if you physically can't do it because it's too hard, and it's just a swag achievement, like, it sucks not getting all the trinkets to complete the game in your way.
Mm-hmm. I assume achievement development is sort of just happens when you're building the game.
It's an afterthought, to be honest.
Okay, or is like it's something you're really going out of your way to think
Yeah,
about.
it is.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, for me, I don't know if it's different for other people. I don't care about achievements, though. So, like, They've never done anything for me. The only game I've ever cared about them in was Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, because I love that game so much. Mm-hmm. I was like...
That's a game I gotta get around to.
Love it. I love my Castlevanias, so... or the Igavanias. But, yeah, the achievement process is, like... We basically just play through and try to think of fun things. Maybe we write down some like pun names or stuff like that.
Right.
And
The names.
let's go back to the chat thing though. So like in chat, somebody came up with an idea called a round on the house, right? And I was like, I got you. I know what I'm going to do for that immediately. It's a great way to spark imagination. In the same way that coming up with a name for an achievement might spark your imagination for what the achievement is too. So like round on the house, I was like, it's going to be an action card and kind of like giving everybody a drink. Everyone, both your drinks and the enemies are going to gain attack. It's super simple concept.
Right.
It just spawned off of that, and I love it. It's in the game right now.
Right. Bar 2, the theme. I think I know it, but I'm trying to remember. Even if I know, what's the theme of it?
So let me start with bar 1.
Okay.
So bar 1, like I said, is beast, greenskin, and then kind of like the Fae. In my mind, the bar is called the Forest Edge Tavern. That's the name of the bar. In my mind, it's kind of like going through a dungeon where you start in the forest, right? And it's like the edge of the forest is animals. So that's why you fight the animals first. And then the second layer, you get to like the greenskin encampment, you know?
Right. The humanoid orcs.
Yep.
Gnolls.
Trolls.
Kobolds. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then further and deeper, it's like the deep forest is where the marshes are and where the froghemoth is. So I
Yeah.
think of it like a dungeon. So the second one is called the brass keg. And in the brass keg, you are... So it's like an industrial bar. So the dungeon concept is like a factory. Mm-hmm. So you start in the sewers below the factory and you're fighting slimes. We got barflies.
Cool.
We had one. I started naming the turd golem, but I switched it to trash golem just to be a little more family friendly, and so we didn't have to draw a monster made of feces.
I was like, so it's like, but it is like a bunch of shit.
Yeah, it's just like it's a
But not just shit.
it's a golem made in the sewer, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
exactly.
Use your imagination.
And
Yeah.
then the second week is the assembly line. So you're fighting like robots and tanks and things like that.
Cool.
And then the final week is this was tricky because it's like, well, where do you go from there?
Right. How many things do exist that I can,
Right. And
yeah.
how am I going deeper in the factory? So we came up with the Heart of the Forge, which is the final boss.
So like automatons?
More like automatons. Explain to me what an automaton is.
Machines that are alive.
That's more like week 2.
Okay.
That's like assembly. The machines are coming off of the factory line.
Okay.
So week 3 is like the primal force creating the machines. So the boss is actually, and it's what I'm developing right now, and I'm mostly sit on the concept. It's like a big, like furnace kind of.
Yeah.
And you can't do damage to it. Right now, we have a special mechanic where you have to stack something up on it, and then it goes into a weaken phase where the heart actually pops out, and then you have to destroy the heart, and then it resets a couple times and does different things between it.
Right.
So this is our most intensive boss fight yet. From what you
Right.
saw with the Rat King, where it's like it's really starting to ramp up with how mechanically intensive these are getting. But the week consists of like steam elemental, molten giants. I'm sorry, they're molten elementals. I forget what I called it. I tried to keep the names different so it wasn't like, oh, it's the same thing, but elemental, like fire elemental, wind element. It's
Right.
There's giants that are supposed to be like helping with the foundry, furnace giants, and a few other things. So yeah, it's more like at the core of the forge. And then we have a third bar, which is pure concept.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about it.
I thought so.
Yeah.
So if the first one was like on the edge of the forest, this is kind of like in the city in like the industrial district. The last one and the bartender kind of correlates with these two. The last bartender also will be kind of like the aristocrat deck. So it's like all the like more noble type stuff.
Sure.
So I tentatively, I think we're calling it the Boneyard, maybe. And you'll start with like skeletons and liches, and you'll work your way up. And maybe we haven't put too much thought into it yet, but I know vampire type stuff will be there. So it'll be more like the aristocratic type monsters.
You know what I thought of? What the fuck's his name? From Demon Soul. Have you played Demon Souls?
Yes.
What is the everyone with the Demon Souls remake got upset? Who's like the fat?
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
fat official. That's who I thought of when you said like nobleman. Like I thought of like this this grotesque guy with the top hat and the fat official. A lot of
like
people
that.
got upset with the fat official.
Why'd they
'cause
get upset?
changed him so much in the remake.
Did they? I mean, I remember. So I played the base and I played the remake, and there's a lot to love about the games, but like
I've never played the original.
Okay,
only
well,
the remake.
kind of like the Rat King correlates to this more advanced fight later. That's kind of what you're getting with Demon Souls versus even Dark Souls 1. Like the boss fights just elevate so much that it's pretty much all gimmicks in Demon Souls, but I found the level design more interesting, and there's other things to love about it. But yeah, like that boss in particular, I'm pretty sure you just like plunge attack and then slap his feet and he falls over.
Yeah,
so,
that was like the biggest complaint with the Demon Souls remake is Blue Point redesigned things that were like, oh, well, in the lore, he's supposed to look like this. And I was
it was
like,
a look thing?
Yeah, it's purely aesthetic.
Okay.
Which I was kind of always like, I'm like, do you really give a shit about the Demon Souls lore like that much? Mm-hmm. And then some people are like, yeah,
some people do.
We do.
Well, what you got to know about Demon Souls is when Demon Souls came out, there was like a super tight-knit hardcore FromSoft audience back then.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
And it grew in the same way that like Morrowind to Oblivion and then Oblivion to Skyrim grew.
Yeah.
So like if you follow those communities, the people that like, let's say Fallout is a better example. The people that like New Vegas hate Fallout 4. Not all of them, but like the really hardcore, like old school, they despise it because of the changes and like the wider audience and whatever problems they have with it. But if you go even further back, the people that that love Fallout 2, you know, they like the 3D stuff less too. So it's like, it's the same deal. You're opening up your audience, and you know, with Demon Souls to Dark Souls and so on. So the people that are Demon Souls fans, they're probably harboring a lot of resentment already.
For like, oh, I hate Elden Ring. I was a Demon Souls fan.
Well, I did dislike Elden Ring,
good.
but that's me.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. The bar. Yeah. I'm like, now I'm just like, fuck. I want to like get farther. So
I need you to get further. I'll be checking in.
Yeah. Please stay on top of me. But yeah, I will, and I will do the review. But yeah, I want to. I'm like really curious because I don't really think I've seen like the monster designs outside of that first week.
Mm-hmm.
So when, if anything, can you give us when the game is going to come out of early access and officially?
I mean, we're just spitballing on it, but you know, end of the year, started next year, probably.
Okay,
cool. So, like I said, I want to add those 3 bars. I want to add another bartender as well. We already have the second bartender added, and to me, if we had 3 bars and 3 bartenders, that is 9 ways to play through the game, and then each of those bars has, I think. Is it 5? I think there's 4 difficulties, so there's 3 extra difficulties to play through, and there's trinkets to unlock that change how you start your game. Like, you're probably familiar with the leftmost slot having attack, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's also one.
I got the second one.
Did you? Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, so
I
you
don't
got
know how I unlocked it, but I have it.
Yeah. You got. Oh, I know how you did it because you got in early, and there was a bug. It was so annoying. The bug was the achievement was tied to something else, so you'd be playing and you'd randomly get the beat the Rat King or something. It was like it was to beat the second difficulty. So you'd get like that achievement and you'd get the trinket for it as if you had beaten the first difficulty and the second one. So then you could go to the third difficulty. And I know a streamer in particular who was enjoying the game, and he unlocked the third difficulty in the same way because it also gets the trinket. So it's like kind of a bug that just did that altogether. And then he was like, well, I don't need to worry. You know, that wasn't too bad. I'll jump to difficulty 3. The difficulty really goes up between the mugs. It is not a joke. Like, the second one will kick your ass. The third one will throw you through a window.
I mean, I think the game is like, I think it's difficult, but like, it's not a breeze. And I think that's like a good thing.
That's how it's supposed to be.
I feel like games like do difficulty poorly.
And you haven't played Slay the Spire, right?
No.
Yeah, so if you haven't played a card game, that's exactly what I want you to feel. So if you've played a lot of Slay the Spire, my goal was to get you killed by the second or third boss once and then have you beat it by 3 tries, let's say, if you've played them.
I think every time I've fought the Rat King, it's after like a significant amount of time. Like I like come back to it like after.
Oh, that's
like,
a problem.
Yeah,
you can't do that because you forget what you have in your deck.
Right. And I forget what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I need to relearn it. So that's sort of on me. Yeah. So game hopefully will come out of early access end of next year.
Yep.
Or end of this year, beginning of next. Is there like we're kind of winding down? Is there any? I know we haven't talked about like price, but like also any information. I would do this as I outro, but this is kind of the outro. But like any other information you want to get out there that I didn't ask? Do you want to make sure people know? Obviously, like in the description, there's going to be all the links. We haven't talked about that yet, but a link to the game, a link to your Discord, a link to where people can follow you, the stream, whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've covered most things. I mean, it's a card game. If you like card games, it's probably up your alley, you know?
That's it.
That's it. I don't have a lot of fluff, you know? I mean, we talked about the bars, right? We talked about the bartenders. There are each different decks of cards that you get to draft through. We talked about the difficulties. You know, the difficulties aren't meant for everyone either. I know that because, like, me personally, I was never interested in Slay the Spire's Ascensions. That said, playing through, because I go by Mario Maker rules, so I don't put it out there unless I can beat it. And I think right now there's like 3% of people that have beaten the last difficulty that own the game. So it's pretty low. So the difficulty is pretty solid. And that's probably gone down since we've had more sales.
Awesome. Yeah, and people can find Monster Tavern on Steam.
On Steam. Yeah, we're considering mobile in the future too.
That's what I was gonna ask.
There you go.
Yeah, you are considering mobile. I feel like that's
and
the
Switch
move.
probably as well. But
Nice.
I mean, it all comes down to like, how many copies do we move? You know, if the game sells 500 copies in lifetime and we put more money into it than we got, I'm not going to keep dumping I don't have a lot of money to dump into it, so I physically can't. I would probably just move to a new game. But, you know, I would love for people to get involved with the community. I'd love for people to fall in love with the game. And if we can sell enough copies that I can at least make enough to cover my bills, you know, so I can live.
That'd be cool.
That's the groundwork, yeah. And I'll keep working on it as long as people are interested. Because I mean, I've got a lot of ideas for it. Like already something that wasn't planned originally that I'm absolutely going to do for full release. So you got the 3 decks, right? Red, green, blue. I could combine half of red with half of green and just give you half of each, right? And you have a new bartender. It's just free content. It gives you all new synergies to play with. You don't have to handpick the cards to decide what'll be fun combos. But we could have 3 more and then like an all deck too. So those are all fun things. We've talked about also, this is something I told people at the con and some people got really excited about, but something we bumped into in development was puzzles. So like I give you a setup, like you have this drink here, you've got these drinks in your hand, and these monsters are at the bar doing this thing, beat this scenario. Like those type of challenge puzzles, people eat that stuff up. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It should be easy to make. I mean, maybe I'll run out of ideas after like 10 encounters, but it should be easy to make up until 10 encounters then. But, you know, those are all things I'm considering. Multiplayer, I am genuinely trying to figure out what I could do. I wouldn't have believed that Slay the Spire could have a successful multiplayer if I didn't see it, though. So now I see what they did, and it's in hindsight like, well, that was pretty cool. So if you're not aware, you can play 4-player Slay. The monsters scale up, and you're all in control of your own character. So you all play at the same time, which is kind of wild. And it's cool, and it brought a lot of people in. So I'd love to do something, but I don't know what yet for multiplayer.
How much is Monster Tavern?
It's $11.99 right now. I think the Steam sale just came to an end, or it's about to come to an end.
July 9th.
Yeah, I don't know if... I think we're... So, kind of funny.
And that's tomorrow. So by the time this is out...
all right, so for all intents and purposes, it's... the Steam sale's over, but I put it up for 25% off regularly, so... And, you know, will the price come down? Maybe. Just depends. Depends what's going on with it. So we might try a little lower, because that's a whole thing too. It's like, at what point, like $5, right? So many of these slop games come out at $5, because it's hard not to buy it. If your friend's playing it, it's $5, and you just want to fuck around on a Friday night. Like,
and the stuff on the PSN is like $1.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like that I was talking about. That
I gotta get into that.
That really flood the PlayStation Store, and it creates problems for actual games to get recognition because there's a bunch of shovelware shit.
Yeah.
Like in front of it.
I can definitely see that, because getting exposure on Steam is hard.
Yeah,
it is very, very hard.
Yeah, even harder than on PlayStation. I bet, because I feel like if you're an indie dev, you're starting on PC. You're not typically going to start on console.
Right.
Yeah. And yeah, people can go watch your stream, twitch.tv/Toki with 1K.
1K, unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, because you were 2Ks and had numbers, right?
Yes, I was Toki 88.
88, yeah.
Yeah, because that was my birth year, which is an unfortunate number for some people that they associate it with things too, but that was never the intent. It was my birth year, like a sane human being.
I mean, like... What?
Yeah,
that's why you had to change your name?
No. That's not why I changed my name.
Oh.
But I'm just saying, people came to me with that. Do you know what the thing is with it?
No.
It's like an Aryan Brotherhood thing.
What?
Yes, because I think 8 is H, so it's like HH Hail Hitler.
What?
Yes.
No.
When I was first,
I'm like,
when I was
it's like,
first,
what are you talking about?
When somebody first asked me if that's what the 88 of my name was, I was
like,
dumbfounded. I'm like, what? No, I did not willingly put that in my name. It's a relatively known thing, but it's like, it's still pretty. Now you know, yeah. So no,
no, I'm not a part.
I've always been Toki with 2Ks though since 2004 World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
So that's like my thing. And when we weren't partnered on Twitch, I was petitioning for years to get my name. And then one day, one of our channel regulars came in and she was like, "Oh, I saw Toki with 2Ks, like without the numbers, over in Dead by Daylight." And I was like, "What?" And I went and looked, of course. And it was years later I found out. I have plenty of problems with Twitch. That could be a whole thing to talk about too one day. But they have a lot of favoritism. And if you're a partner, one of the favoritisms is they will give you assistance with a name of your choice. If it's an active, they will give you the name one time. So that's how I got Toki with 1K, which is close enough. The translations on what it's supposed to be are different, but it's still cool. And I've got a 4-letter Twitch name, so that, it's some kind of swag. But
yeah, with no numbers. Right?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the partner privileges, so...
Yeah. Cool. Well, again, all this information is going to be in the description of the podcast, and if you're one of Toki's viewers or a Monster Taverner is what I was going to just say. A Monster Tavern player. I hope you subscribe to DNN. If you've been watching on youtube.com/Delco Network, we really appreciate your time. We usually stream over there as well, and on Twitch, twitch.tv/Delco Network. You can find us anywhere on social media with an @sign. Just search Delco Nerds, facebook.com/Delco Network, and all of our information can be found at DelcoNerdNetwork.com, as well as our Discord channel, where we're always talking about different shit that's going on in the gaming world, like physical discs and whatever the fuck hell sad stories are coming out of game development recently. Yeah, again, that is all on our website, and you can email us your comments, questions, and concerns at delconerds@gmail.com. My name is Anthony Rigucci for Chris. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay nerdy, and we'll see you next time.
Appreciate you.